Starting now.
He's
Hey
not even
guys,
ready.
what's up everybody? Welcome to Dat Wrasslin podcast. This is episode number 24, you guys. It's your boy Soulamazin here with Streetkilln HD, Sheepshifter 23, and Benjamin Rivers. The whole gang is here, guys. What's going on?
Oh, what's going on, guys?
What's happening? Ben will be here in a moment, guys. He had to go catch a crow or something like that. I don't know what's going on down there.
No, I'm still here.
Ben says yay,
Just
yay,
trying to
yay.
open something now.
All right.
Oh yeah, you
Go on.
trying to open something?
No, I'm trying to like open up my freaking Powerade. I can't open it.
All right. While Ben's having technical difficulties, let's get started, you guys. Kicking off with Monday Night Raw. We open up the show with, of course, Kurt Angle, your boy, coming out to the ring to address a situation that happened the week prior, and of course, Kurt Angle was interrupted by none other than Roman Reigns. And
Boring Roman Reigns.
we had a
boring Roman Reigns.
We had kind of a interesting promo little battle between Roman and Baron Corbin. There's some minor funny moments between the two of them.
Just minor.
Minor funny moments. You know, Roman Reigns picking on Baron Corbin for not being a man and stepping up to Brock for running away and stuff like that, and Baron Corbin taking jabs at Roman for getting beat up by Brock Lesnar multiple times. It was minorly funny, which of course this escalated into a match between Roman Reigns and Baron Corbin, which was
Of course.
what did you guys think about
Yay.
this match?
The only thing I kept saying the whole time was Seth Rogen in the crowd jacking off his forearm.
Oh yeah, I've seen that too.
He's doing it for like 20 minutes the whole match. He's over there just, he's getting it. Right? He's doing the whole Roman Reigns, you know how like he cocks his forearm.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah,
he just keeps doing it up and down. I'm explaining it for the other people who may not know Street. This guy's just going ham on his forearm. I'm sure he had Indian burn.
And I think Seth Rogen was just I think he was just showing the way the rest of us felt about the match.
Yeah. You don't say.
Yeah, I don't have much to
But
say.
yeah, it was pretty quick, and I mean, it was what it was. Whatever.
It was just, you know, these guys are just desperate to have Baron Corbin and Roman Reigns involved in everything. So they're like, hey, let's just have them wrestle each other. It's amazing.
Let's just admit that Raw is just shitty again. You know, Raw was pretty bad for like the past 3 weeks.
I mean, yeah, let's
Spoiler.
go ahead and put it out there that I think us as a unit are not very impressed with Raw lately, and it has been a little bit on the boring side the past few weeks, or arguably months, if you want to go that far.
I'd just like to say who brought the gay astronaut.
Okay, astronaut.
Wow.
Back to what you were saying. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just saying, let's just skip past the whole, you know, Raw's been not so great the past few weeks or months, you could say, and I think we can all basically agree with that and hope that things are going to get better. And moving on from the Baron Corbin Roman Reigns match, it doesn't get much better. We had Bobby Roode versus Mojo Rawley. I wasn't very impressed by this match either, or the storyline. I, for one, I'm not a huge Bobby Roode fan. Obviously, I like him better than Mojo Rawley. But
just please tell me we're not gonna get a Bobby Roode and Mojo Rawley feud.
I don't think we already have.
I'm gonna have to burst your bubble here. We are
already there, bud.
I was hoping for it not to happen.
It's basically like a filler feud, though. It's not gonna. escalate into anything important.
Well,
It's just a filler feud.
It is actually, well, it will be better than seeing
we're losing Ben here.
Zach
We're losing Ben.
No, we're not.
Can you repeat that, Ben? Your mic was buffering.
Yeah,
well, let's just say, dude, that at least like this rivalry is gonna be much better than the whole Mojo Rawley and Zack Ryder rivalry, which is very true.
Honestly, I kind of disagree. I think the Bobby Roode Zack Ryder's rivalry had more of a story to it. There's more of a point to it. This one's kind of more like they just kind of threw it out there. There's really no background story to it. It just happened. And it's, you know, Mojo and Zack Ryder were a tag team, and they had a lot of history together, and they built that up for a few weeks before they finally split up. So it may not have been entertaining, but it had a story to it. Unlike this, is just kind of was like a Mojo Rawley just like approached Bobby Roode in the backstage area and started picking on him like out of nowhere for no reason.
Well, he did actually pick on like you know, Zack Ryder and like the other people, and then you wanna I think Bobby is, you know, Bobby, he's just trying to just defend the locker room.
Yeah.
Because he's just sick and tired of Mojo Rawley.
Yeah.
Freaking, like this thing on going on a stupid called a little rampage. Sometimes
it's like Mojo Rawley is the Mojo Rawley is like the locker room bully, and Bobby Roode's defending them. I guess you could say that's the story here.
Yeah, I guess you can say
Since
that.
apparently they buried No Way Jose, because I haven't seen him.
Yeah.
He did. He was involved with a tweet with Austin Aries, so he's still around.
Well, then maybe he's going to Impact.
Yeah. No, the tweet was
maybe.
The tweet was throwing shade at Austin Aries, basically saying that he's still in WWE, and Austin Aries like isn't.
Well, that's a whole nother argument. That's a whole nother situation. So, you got anything else? You got anything? Any thoughts or feelings on Bobby Roode, Mojo Rawley, Sheep, or this match in general?
Nah, I don't have nothing.
I'm kind of a little
I say Sheep, and everybody but Sheep answers.
Yeah, I am actually a little interested in this whole feud.
Go ahead.
Are you? Are you really now?
Yes, I am.
Why?
Yo,
I can only hope that you find the greatest enjoyment out of it, then. I hope the best for you.
If they're not gonna bring back Lights Out, it's not worth it for me.
Lights Out.
Well,
they gotta bring back Lights Out.
Greatest thing about
that
Mojo.
Make it entertaining.
Start the hashtag. Lights Out Mojo.
He needs a catchphrase to make him even worth anything.
I agree with
Doesn't
that.
everybody?
The catchphrase would be if he would do the lights out thing every time he did like his finisher.
Yeah.
And really sold it. Lights out.
Or said it at the. He needs to say lights out at the end of every promo and just drop the mic.
Yeah.
Like how Randy Orton says RK and then just drops the mic. He should just say lights out and just throw the mic down.
Okay. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. That was enough enjoyment of Mojo Rawley for one night. Let's move on.
Is it just?
Bobby Lashley hijacks Elias's second documentary.
Oh my god. Why?
Alright, so we had Elias in the backstage area with some like TV producers around him. They're all wearing the same shirt I'm wearing right now, the Walk with Elias t-shirt. And it's talking about his documentary and everything. So they eventually come out to the ring, and he's in his usual get-up in the middle of the ring, but now he has a production crew around him. And he was talking about his new documentary that's on the network, but saying that they're gonna film a second one. They're gonna do it the right way. So he's got these guys following him, walking around him in circles and acting like they're
kind of like guards,
acting like they're putting on a like they're filming a live documentary. And of course, this was interrupted by Bobby Lashley. And then, what did you guys think about the mic work between Bobby and Elias here?
Well, Bobby's wasn't any good, but Elias, as always, was
Bobby. I don't know. He just wasn't never really good on the mic.
Yeah, it's never been a strong suit of his.
He didn't do as much talking.
But he didn't do as much talking in his first run in WWE.
Yeah.
He was more like closer to Brock Lesnar's style of a character, where he didn't talk very much. Now they're kind of making him talk, and I think he just naturally has a soft voice. That when you're a big muscular guy and you have a soft tone voice, people tend to make fun of that, and it's hard to be taken seriously. I try to look past it myself so I can try to believe what he's saying, but the whole calling each other a joke back and forth was like cringy funny to me. I think your boots are a joke. Your scarf is a joke. Your guitar is a joke. Like, he's just going on and on. It was cringy funny to me.
I agree.
But all in all, it wasn't a terrible promo. It made me laugh, and that's what's important to me. And I'm actually pretty interested in this rivalry. It's definitely better than a Mojo Rawley Bobby Roode rivalry.
Yeah, definitely.
It's
better.
still a mid card rivalry, but it's like a high tier mid card rivalry. I think they're gonna put on a pretty good match because Elias isn't no small man neither. He's not to Bobby Lashley's athletic ability, but he's not small neither. So I think they're gonna put on it's gonna be better than Bobby wrestling Sami Zayn. I mean, this is believable.
Wait,
This should have I think it should have been Elias the first time. They should have never even did the Sami Zayn storyline with him. You should have just started out with this.
How? Okay, actually, like also talk about this whole, like when Bobby Lashley got put with Sami Zayn. Remember like when Bobby Lashley attacked Elias? I think like everyone thought that was gonna be his first, but nope, it was freaking Sami Zayn for something.
Yeah.
Fucked up.
Yeah, I don't know why they.
Sorry, had to say it.
I don't know why they changed it. I wish they hadn't.
I know. Yeah, and that's like, and that was, and now like when I'm actually thinking of it, they should have like just done Bobby Lashley versus Elias, the first rivalry that they should have done, like just to introduce.
Yeah, they should
him back to.
Yeah, it would have gave him a better return.
Yeah, I agree.
And not taking anything away from Sami Zayn, I love Sami Zayn. He's great on the mic. He's a good wrestler, but it was bad for Bobby. Sheep, you got anything to add?
Yeah, Bobby got a bad return. I mean, the whole feud was pretty bad with what's his name there? Sami Zayn.
Yeah, and I don't have anything to add. You pretty much covered everything that I had.
Yep.
Yeah, like I said, this Raw hasn't been good, so
yeah.
I don't have much to say.
No problem, guys. We can.
I mean, can we even, like, I don't know. It's nothing to say.
Yeah, I got you guys.
Because I didn't, I didn't see it, so so I kind of got like, what really happened.
Of course.
All right, well, let's move on then. We had Titus O'Neil going one-on-one with Razor from the Authors of Pain. This
filler match.
This is.
Filler match.
It just feels like this is my third time saying this in a row tonight. It just feels like these are a bunch of filler rivalries. Like the whole show is a filler.
Really
it feels like the whole show is a filler. Now I'm trying to steer away from complaining all night, but it's kind of hard. I don't want to be like a downer and just complain all night about how bad things are, but I mean, I like Titus O'Neil. He's all right, but this is just a bad match in my opinion.
I have to agree. So I have to
Well,
agree.
we're also leading up to the pay-per-view where you don't want to injure anybody that you got big plans for. So you got a whole bunch of. They got 3 hours to fill. You know.
Basically.
Yeah, but you could make that argument all year long, like every year, where you don't want anybody to get injured.
Yeah, but not with. You got 4 big pay-per-views. If you really think about it, where they gotta prove to the investors and to the people paying the bills, and to Fox, and you know, to whoever
I got
else,
you.
that they can put on a good show and they can pull out big numbers, and that this person draws and this person's worth the millions that they're making.
Yeah.
It's so they can have all those demographics and those statistics. It's just like the Super Bowl weekend. How if they've already gotten the playoffs, they'll bench all their good players. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I understand.
I agree.
Right. I think that's all this is, and I mean it's definitely detrimental to the overall quality of the show. But in some instances, it may be necessary. I think that the problem is poor writing, if anything.
Definitely.
Definitely poor writing is a problem.
You could make up for having short or lackluster matches or squash matches if you had good writing involved. People will watch a squash match if they're invested and they want to watch the squash match. They want to see the.
Agreed.
If we cared about the Authors of Pain right now, we wouldn't mind seeing them in a squash match.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but last week on Raw, but the week prior to this one, didn't Apollo Crews defeat Akam in their match?
Yeah, I think he did.
So, in this match, Razor defeated Titus. So,
yeah,
I guess, and as far as results go, I'm happy with the results because I like Apollo Crews, and I'm glad they gave him that's a big win, even though Akam may not be a big name, he's a big man. So for Apollo Crews to get a win over him is pretty big, and by Razor defeating Titus, it makes them tied in singles competition. So I guess eventually we're gonna get, maybe even this upcoming Raw, we'll get an actual tag team match that will maybe put this rivalry to end. So, and something entertaining, something exciting could come from this. You know, you could see what the Authors of Pain are moving on to do next, or maybe Titus Worldwide breaks up. Maybe Apollo gets his big pull. Maybe he says, you know, I won my match. Why couldn't you win yours? Maybe I'm better off without you. Maybe we see Apollo break off and he get a push. You know, I mean, there's a lot of different things that could come from this. So maybe the writing isn't gonna be so bad. It could be leading him something better. But we can only hope.
I agree.
So moving on from that, we had Braun Strowman versus Jinder Mahal.
Braun Strowman versus Jinder Mahal.
Yeah, I think we also got the debut of the Kevin Owens show.
Yes, this was Kevin Owens show made a comeback.
It wasn't a debut; it was a return.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was a return.
You made the same thing. Debut. Well, it was dead, and then it came back.
No, debut is when you first appear. Then.
Kevin Owens show. Kevin Owens announced his first guest back would be Jinder Mahal.
Yep.
And
oh wow.
What is Sunil Singh? And
yep, Sunil Singh. I don't know.
It wasn't the greatest Kevin Owens show I've seen. The enjoyment I got from it was how Kevin Owens kept rambling about himself, and Jinder couldn't get a word in. And Jinder looked like he was getting frustrated, but he would just smile because he's playing along with his, you know, happy-go-lucky new gimmick. So he couldn't freak out. I was just waiting on him to like just rage and attack Kevin Owens because he wouldn't stop talking. And I don't know, I guess I'm kind of a Kevin Owens fanboy. Like, I just laugh. Like, I just see him on screen and I automatically just start laughing because I know he's gonna say something. I love the sarcasm. That's why I love The Miz so much. I love a sarcastic heel. So that as far as that
Yeah,
goes, it was
same.
entertaining to
I
me. Other than that, it wasn't a very good installment of the Kevin Owens show. And then the ground started shaking beneath their feet, and I knew what was happening already. It was very predictable for me. And Braun Strowman lifts up the entire little canvas they had set up there for the show, and they go, trembling off of the canvas, and a crowd goes wild because Braun lifted something again. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, to me, honestly,
It's so crazy. Oh my god.
it's gotten beyond old to me. The whole Braun lifting stuff. I don't find it amusing anymore. I think it's just like,
Braun smash.
yeah, it's kind of just like a, oh, here he goes again thing. And I don't remember. Do you guys remember how did this even escalate into a match with Jinder Mahal? Didn't Kevin Owens push Jinder Mahal into wrestling Braun?
Yeah. Yep, he did.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kevin.
Yo, and yeah, and Jinder's face, like when Kevin Owens said
Yeah.
that, I was just like, Kevin, you are not like the booker of the show. Just saying.
For real.
Yeah, but
So Kevin forces Jinder Mahal into the match, or peer pressures him into the match, I should say. Which
okay.
Braun Strowman didn't give two shits about the match. He I believe Kevin Owens stole his Money in the Bank briefcase, so Braun went after him and got counted out. So isn't that how it went? And
It was actually by disqualification.
yeah.
Disqualification.
Jinder Mahal won by disqualification. I think Braun Strowman chased Kevin Owens up the ramp and took his briefcase back, and Jinder Mahal came up from behind. And when Braun turned around, he kind of like hit Jinder Mahal in the gut with the briefcase. So he got disqualified.
This is all just to keep highlighting how easy it is for Braun to lose the Money in the Bank. This is either leading me to believe that they're either going to go ahead, and I mean, it's kind of both ways either way, but they're either going to do it for the fact that they're doing all this to show how easily it can be done and trying to put it in people's minds so that if it does happen, they won't freak out. Or they're doing all this so people will think, well, they're definitely going to do it now, and then they pull a swerve and they don't.
Definitely.
Because now I think if anybody were guessing, they'd probably say Kevin Owens is going to take it from him somehow. He's going to find some way.
Yeah.
Which I'm not opposed to.
I still think he will.
At the same time.
I still think Kevin Owens is going to take it.
What, Kevin Owens?
Yeah.
I really do.
I don't want it. I don't want it to.
I mean, let's just, while we're on this subject, let's go ahead and say it. Do you guys honestly feel like Braun Strowman would be a relevant Universal Champion?
Well,
yeah, honestly, I think he would be.
That's very debatable.
I mean, he's got a fan base behind him.
Yeah, no doubt.
He blew up really quick too. He blew up really quick too. So, I don't know.
Does he appear?
I think he's like the better version. I think he's like the better version of Roman Reigns, in my opinion. It's like Roman Reigns 2.0. It's like what they wanted to happen, but like didn't happen, but happened with somebody else. It's just like, what? So now they're just working with that, honestly. So if you do remember, Braun Strowman wasn't supposed to be as big as he is right now. He was supposed to be like a heel that, that's what WWE wanted, a heel that everybody hated. And that's why his first match was with, the whole rivalry against Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns and stuff, and his rival with Roman Reigns. It was supposed to get Roman over, but it never did. And now they're just working with, like, this monster among men guy, but, has a funny side to him. So, I don't know. It's just, I think he'll get over on the crowd if he wins the title. I mean, I don't see no problem with it.
Okay. What about you, Sheep?
I think that I just told you. I think it'll either be a swerve or Kevin Owens is gonna take it.
No, I mean
and that's weird that the swerve. Oh, what?
I mean, do you think Braun Strowman would be a relevant Universal Champion?
Yes, I think either one of them would be fine.
Okay. It's just a general question. I mean,
Yeah, I'm perfectly happy with Kevin Owens, or we've already had Kevin Owens Universal Champion.
Yeah, that's why I really don't want Kevin Owens.
Good.
Here's the thing. It was better than Brock Lesnar's. Sorry, Saul.
True.
Well,
yeah, true, it was.
Well, that's the whole point I'm trying to get to is like I feel like Kevin Owens would be a more relevant Universal Champion than Braun Strowman.
I don't know.
Kevin Owens
man.
is bigger. It's bigger as far as pops and
yeah,
fan popularity.
He's more talented on the microphone. He's a better wrestler. He's capable of more.
I'm not disagreeing with those things.
Wow.
That doesn't always make. You don't always have to be a bet.
No, I know.
Brock Lesnar's not better on the mic. Brock Lesnar's not all these things, but he makes for an intimidating champion because of his particular skill set. They have different skill sets to where you can't really compare them in that way. It's like comparing Ric Flair to Stone Cold. You can't really.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not saying I'm opposed to Braun Strowman being Universal Champion. I'm just making conversation. It's a podcast.
I got you.
I'm just stating my opinion between the two. I don't think I even seen Kevin Owens as Universal Champion. And maybe that's why I want to see it so badly.
It was.
You don't remember when Triple H gave it to him?
No, I wasn't. I wasn't watching. I started watching right after.
Okay, that's like right when I started watching. So
I started watching again right after, so I didn't see that part. And I love Kevin Owens, so I want to see him as champion. Maybe because I didn't watch that period of time, that's why I feel so strongly about wanting him to win it. But I think
it's because you missed it. I mean, here's the thing.
Me and Ben exactly
have never really missed nothing in WWE, and like I don't know, Ben. Do you really want to see Kevin Owens as another Universal Champion, as a Universal Champion once more?
Okay, I will say this.
As from the run he had,
he was like okay, his first run, it was he did face Kevin Owens. He faced Kevin Owens.
He faced himself.
No, he faced Seth Rollins.
Yeah. And that's why we thought that Seth was going to be given the title again, but it wasn't. It was kind of a twist.
Yeah, but it wasn't. Yeah, and then like like the whole Chris Jericho thing when he was Universal Champion, that was good.
Yeah.
But then like after he actually lost it to Goldberg, I was just like, I kind of want to see him with another run, but I think something may happen.
A legitimate run? Because it's not going to happen.
Yeah, true. But
he's a heel, so whatever he does to get that title isn't going to be like really, really legitimate.
Yeah, very true.
Well, I think I'll be happy with it either
I don't know.
way.
I thought his run was alright. I thought he had a good run. It was definitely a twist, because I thought that, when they were having that fight, I for sure thought, Triple H was going to hand over the title again once more to Seth Rollins, just because, the whole previous thing.
But, I think like when Roman got eliminated, like by I think it was Seth Rollins, and then like it was down to Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins, and then when I saw Triple H's pedigree stuff, I was just like,
all right,
okay, like,
all right, guys, let's not go too deep into the past. Well, I got you.
Let me just add one more thing. Let me just add one more thing for that match. Would have you rather seen Goldberg defeat Seth Rollins? Because if that went down that way, that would have been bad.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people would be so salty
Exactly.
that actually happened.
Yeah. I don't know.
Just saying.
I was saying that the run was alright, and I don't really care to see him run with it again, because there's other people out there that do deserve that Universal title run, like Braun Strowman and,
Finn Balor.
Finn Balor.
You know about Finn Balor?
Just a bunch
He
of
still
people.
hasn't even got his rematch yet. He still hasn't got his rematch yet, so.
Yep.
Okay, let me just say that we need to stop. We need to just shut up about the Finn Balor rematch. It's been a year.
You're
He'll
saying
get it.
that's never going to happen?
What are we just going to call the next match he had if it's 10 years from now? Oh, he finally got his rematch. No, it's just a match.
Okay, can I just say something?
It's way past time for it to be a rematch.
Yeah, well, at least the freaking Roman,
I'm tired of hearing that as the argument. That shouldn't be the argument. The argument should be it's because Finn Balor deserved the shot. Not because he never
deserves
got his
it.
Yeah, I know.
This is all I hear. Finn Balor never got his rematch. We know.
It's not about the rematch. It's about the, like you said, he deserves it. It's well deserved in his favor.
Yeah, unlike Roman
title.
Reigns, who does not even deserve multiple rematches. He doesn't deserve it.
That we're going too far. Let's move on. Yeah, so go ahead. Keep going.
Yeah. Okay. Next we had Seth Rollins versus Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre in a handicap match.
Handicap match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This match.
Well, I know Roman wanted to tag with Seth.
So.
Alright, so.
I mean, the match was alright. It was a pretty good match.
Well, backstory was, Kurt told Seth he was gonna be in a match with Drew and Dolph, and he could go pick a partner of his choice. So of course, we had Tyler Breeze come up and say, you're looking for a tag partner, I'm right here. And what was the whole? He said he looked like bearded Jesus, and said hashtag what was it? Breezes, right? Hashtag Breezes.
Yeah.
And I was pretty hyped up for this. I was like, yes, Ty Dillinger. Tyler Breeze and Seth Rollins in a tag team. This is going to be awesome. But of course, Roman Reigns has to go poking his nose into everything. So Roman Reigns walks up and claims to be Seth's partner for the night, but we got another phone call from Stephanie McMahon stating that Roman Reigns needed to leave the building for no reason.
Yeah.
So
oh man, about that.
That was. Oh, and then.
Well deserved.
Yeah, the greatest thing Roman Reigns has ever done in his career. Well, didn't he ask him how his ribs felt or something? And then he just punched him right. He punched him right in the gut.
Something like that.
That was pretty good.
I know that Baron Corbin was just laughing at Roman Reigns when he was leaving, and then Roman turns around and just fucking hits him. He looks at him for a second or two, and he just whacks him.
I think he said something like, "Are your ribs feeling okay?"
And I think he said. I don't remember exactly what he said.
Something along those lines.
I giggled at it. I mean, there's not much shit I usually giggle at Roman Reigns, but he does. But I mean, that was pretty funny.
So yeah, this match was pretty good. Good performance from Seth Rollins as always, holding his own against the other two. He fought pretty well.
I think it was the best match out of the show, the entire show.
Yeah, well, Seth Rollins usually is the best match on Raw.
Yeah. Cause he usually
he's probably had the best match on Raw this entire year.
Yeah, he's
to be honest.
burning it down on Raw.
But it was inevitable that Seth Rollins was gonna lose. They're not gonna make Dolph and Drew look that bad to lose to one person. So Ziggler and McIntyre defeat Seth Rollins. So, Sheep, you got anything to say about this? Sheep?
It was just this. It's filler. It was literally more filler. It was just stuff to get us by till SummerSlam, to continue the stories. This one at least had the smarts to point out that the relationship between Roman and Seth can't really benefit each other because of the conflict of interest, because Roman already kind of has too much on his plate to help him. So I think the biggest thing that they have to do is find an ally for Seth Rollins. He can't do it alone. Or they're going to have to maybe ban Drew McIntyre from ringside, or.
But they already tried that ban thing. You always know what happens whenever they.
I think.
Quote unquote.
Or maybe you get a surprise. Maybe you get it's around that time. Maybe we get a surprise Ambrose return.
I think Ambrose is coming at Money in the Bank. But hold on. The week before when
Money in the Bank.
Not Money in the Bank, SummerSlam. I'm sorry, SummerSlam.
That's what I just said.
But the week before, whenever Brock attacked Kurt Angle, I was expecting Jason Jordan to come out and help his father, and then now this week, Seth Rollins needed a tag partner. I was expecting Jason Jordan to come team up with Seth Rollins again. Where's Jason Jordan?
I don't think they...
Okay,
so many opportunities.
Jason Jordan's the worst tag team.
So many opportunities for a Jason Jordan return.
Right?
Yeah, Jason Jordan's no longer with us. He died.
What?
I mean, no, his
Yep, he did.
His injury is gonna put him out for probably another 6 months or more.
Yep.
Oh man.
So, no JJ for a while.
But here's the thing. I agree. I think that Seth Rollins does need a partner, because not really. He doesn't really need a partner. I mean, he'll get more of a more, how do you say more props if he fights what he's been doing, fighting alone against the tag team, and he's been doing pretty good, you know what I'm saying? And they'll give him more props to.
I think it's clearly a build up to Dean Ambrose's return.
But yeah, I think Dean Ambrose may return. Like, I'm 80% sure Dean Ambrose may return back to SummerSlam, and it would be a really big pop, because it's at that moment where all this is basically coming together right now. How we're saying, Seth Rollins does need a partner to help him out and whatnot. He's got these two guys on him, just he's been having a lot of heat with, and he just needs a partner. And Roman Reigns can't be there, and I don't care if you guys want to talk about Jason Jordan, because that shit should have never happened. Him being part of the Shield, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, I will say.
That was dumb.
Okay.
He reinvented the Shield and made it better. I don't know what you're going on about.
He reinvented it. Kurt Angle made the Shield better, alright?
Kurt Angle can't even walk in his own son's shoes.
That's like, that has actually just slipped my mind right now.
I'm kidding.
Could this be a little bit of a build-up to a Ambrose heel turn?
What about this?
That's like what's also been going on.
I don't think so.
I got a little speculation here. It's a little over the top to think about. I mean, I'm 100% sure it's not gonna happen. But you know how Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre, they're working together, and Seth Rollins, like we were talking about, he needs a partner, right? And we're thinking it might be Dean Ambrose. What if, the whole situation right now with, what's his name there? Kurt Angle and the supposed authority I'm going to put there a little bit, that he's getting, he's up to neck with, Baron Corbin and Stephanie. What if, we see a little heel turn from Kurt Angle and help out Seth Rollins in this supposed match?
That wouldn't be a heel turn.
Huh?
How's that a heel turn?
That wouldn't be a heel turn.
How wouldn't it be a heel turn if he
like
basically gives them the title?
He's helping a face.
Because he would be helping a face.
Not really, because in his situation, it would be
Still
more of a
wouldn't
heel
matter.
if he
But
basically gave,
heel
quote
and
unquote,
face is not in the eyes of the company anymore. It's in the eyes of the fan. The fans would applaud that decision and be like,
I
okay,
guess
go
that's
Kurt Angle.
true.
Thank you, Kurt. Thank you,
But
Kurt.
I
Thank
wasn't
you,
really
Kurt.
saying
That's
it was
all that
like.
would happen.
I'm just
It wouldn't be a
saying
heel
heel
turn.
turn. I'm not saying
That's
heel
not
turn
gonna
as a
happen.
heel turn. I'm just kind of saying it in a way, like, you know, a little bit
It's
of
not going to
a
happen because it would
different
devalue.
side
It would
you would
take
take.
the value of the victory away from Seth Rollins, in my opinion. It would diminish that victory.
You think so?
Okay.
To me,
I
it
mean,
would.
we seen
I
the
don't know
whole
about
thing with the
everybody else, but
authority.
to me, that would diminish my.
Well, we
True.
seen the
I
whole
know
authority thing.
because the bad guy can do these things.
I
When the
was
good
gonna
guy
say
does
something
these things, the good guy doesn't. It doesn't play as well.
Okay. Yeah, but you know how we are now with the talk about Dean Ambrose at the moment.
Yes, go on.
Imagine like if he returns, but instead of like Seth Rollins, he attacks Seth Rollins. What would that make him then?
I think that's what
Then
Soul was just saying.
no,
Soul was just saying that.
I didn't say that.
Yo, well, yeah, I kind
didn't
of
say
actually
that.
want to see Dean Ambrose come back and just
No,
attack.
no,
That's
you were
it.
saying
Like,
something about the heel
frickin-
turn where Dean
Yeah,
Ambrose.
well, yeah, well, actually no,
Kinda
I
figured
actually
you were
said
talking
it.
about something like
Well,
that.
I said it.
Ben
I
said
said
that.
it. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. but I am definitely down to see that happen.
All right. Well, we've spent enough time with our boyhood dreams. Let's move on.
Damn it.
No. I think we should still talk about Dean Ambrose. He hasn't been been
What?
talked about as much as he should have been.
What else is there to? Well, he's got a full beard now. What else do you want to say about him?
Yo,
Yeah,
a heel,
he got a full beard.
a heel turn.
His wife's
he'll
gonna
turn
call the
from,
first woman's all-female. The whole
No
match
one.
for a
Okay,
female.
can I just say something? Can I?
All
Can
right,
I
we'll
just
do
say
the Dean
something?
Ambrose
You
podcast
wanna
next.
call it?
This whole, this whole first ever women's, no one really cares about.
No, we're not gonna talk about that right now. We're recapping Monday Night Raw. We're not gonna talk about Evolution.
Oh yeah. Well,
Absolutely not.
You
We're
want-
moving on now. The B
Yeah, you
team,
wanna talk
the
about
B
the
team
show
versus
that
the
we
revival,
What is
guys.
that? Evolution.
The B team
Wait, are you talking about that stable with Randy
versus
Orton?
the revival.
Revolution. Is it a revolution?
Alright, let's really move on. B team versus revival. Let's go.
Go.
What we
Hey,
got?
let's talk about B-Team's new theme song, which is trash. Boo!
Yeah.
Theme song, what is that? Boo! Garbage. B-Team, B-Team. That's stupid. I don't like it.
Bring back
I was just
Battle
getting
Scars.
used to the old one, and now they fucking do this whole fucking cheerleading fucking music. It's fucking garbage. Get it out of here. Burns my ears.
The first
Bleach.
like 7 seconds that I heard it.
Sounds like 21 Pilots, right?
Wow.
No.
The first like
Wow.
7 seconds of the new theme song, I really liked it. I was digging it. I was into it. And then after that, it was like, this is just, it already got stale and boring after the first few seconds. And when it just keeps repeating itself, and it's just really childish.
It's fucking stupid. It's garbage. I hate it.
Like my emotions went like from like super excited to just disappointment in like a matter of 10 seconds with that theme song. Like it lifted me up and then dropped me all the way back down like real fast. It's like a roller coaster.
I agree.
But I don't have anything to say about this match. We all know how I feel about the revival. So if you guys want to talk about it, feel free.
The
Well, there was
revival,
contest,
no.
So they did. It's not like they won. It was a no contest. I thought it was interesting how when the lights came back on, Bray Wyatt was in the corner reaching for the tag.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That was a unique aspect to the lights going out and people mysteriously appearing in the ring. I thought that was interesting. Other than that, it was a fairly average type match. Nothing fancy. It should have been a longer match so we could maybe see some technical wrestling from either side. But we didn't really get that. We just got more continuation with the leaders of the world.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
And then we got an announcement.
I agree. Nothing to say about it.
We got an announcement that next week it'll be the B Team versus the Revival versus Matt and Bray for the Tag Team Championship on the next episode.
I'm just saying, I hope it's not the Revival that wins, because they've been building up the Revival, and it's.
I think the B Team will retain.
Is it just me, or do I actually want the Revival to win?
Oh God!
Of course,
Ben.
you want the Revival to win, Ben.
Yeah, I want to see them actually, just have like a little bit of a good run with the title.
Why? Why though?
Remember,
why? Just give me one reason why. One reason
remember
why.
the Bludgeon Brothers, like they become tag team champions. No one wanted to see that. So
yeah, but I still wouldn't want to see
point.
fucking stupid ass. Revival. You know what? The Revival needs a revival. All right. They need a revival.
They need
really
they
bad.
need to be bludgeoned.
yes, yeah. Well, so does Roman Reigns. So does Roman Reigns need another
Give the
revival.
Revival a revive. Just repackage them already.
They need.
It's what
They need a.
Okay.
They need a med
What
kit.
What about No Way Jose? No Way Jose then? Say
Why
What?
bringing up No Way
What does that have to do with
What
anything?
This has to do
I'm
with it?
sorry, yo. You said that like the Revival need a repackage. Well, I'm just also mentioning another name.
Why?
No Way Jose. So
Why would you bring him up? What's
his
deal
gimmick
with
is stupid. His gimmick is like stupid right now.
Oh yeah, but
All
we're
right.
not talking about
Sorry,
that, man.
sorry, no way, Jose. If you're
Yeah,
listening, the rest of GWP thinks that you're great. We're gonna move on.
No.
We're gonna move on to Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman sit down for interviews. So let's talk about Roman Reigns. Let's talk about Roman Reigns'
you know
interview
what's weird?
first. Talk about Roman Reigns' interview first.
This interview got this little scene here got a A-. So
What'd you guys think about Roman Reigns' interview with Corey Graves?
Boring.
Ben thinks it's boring.
That's it.
I
Just
don't know,
boring.
man. I didn't
Why?
see
Why is it boring? It's a podcast. You didn't
Why?
explain
Because-
your feelings.
Because half of me does not want to well, I should say 95% of me want to see Roman Reigns with the Universal title.
Only half of you?
No, 95%
Doesn't.
does not want to see Roman Reigns.
So
with
that
the
made
title.
this interview bad?
Yes.
Okay.
Yo, if Roman wins the
I
title,
think
I swear that I'm gonna uninstall my WWE.
I think it was a
So you would rather have Brock Lesnar as the champion?
No, I would rather have Braun Strowman as champion.
But it's too, you
I'd
don't
rather
have
have
either of those
Braun as
options. So
champion.
what do you do? If you can't pick either
Brock
of those,
Lesnar.
which one do you pick?
Brock. I'm sorry, but
I
have to say
think
that.
well, for one, it was very awkward seeing Corey Graves in an interview and acting professional. That was weird, and not being a troll and being funny. That was kind of weird. He was talking all proper and stuff. I don't think he should do interviews. That's not my Corey Graves. But other than that, I think it was a good interview because it did its job. Roman did a good job of telling the backstory between him and Brock and explaining things. If you were a new viewer and this was your first time watching Monday Night Raw, you would have been on board with what's going on with him and Brock. So it did its role. It served its purpose. I mean, it wasn't entertaining, but it served its purpose. So that's it for that. The Paul Heyman interview was a little more entertaining. What do you guys think about Paul Heyman's interview?
I don't know. I turned off Raw after the whole Bray Wyatt thing.
Sheep?
Wow.
I gave up on it halfway. So
Both blocks were good.
That makes you a bad subscriber. Shoot, I'm straight.
The Paul Heyman interview was the better of the two. And Corey Graves, if anything, stole the interview from Roman Reigns, even though he was asking the question. Sometimes you're more interested in the interviewer than the interviewee.
Of course, yeah.
These are just promos. They're not really promos that I'm interested in diving into. I really don't care about the Universal title picture at this point. I don't care where the belt goes. I don't care who's wearing it because that belt's not the main belt on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, I agree. Somebody has to make that title relevant again, and I don't think it's Kevin Owens. I don't think it's Roman Reigns. I don't think it's Braun Strowman. Honestly, the only person I see making it relevant is Seth Rollins again, but Seth Rollins already had his time, and maybe Finn Balor or Dean Ambrose. Finn Balor I could see making it relevant because everybody's waiting for it, and everybody's waiting for that run again, and you know, people would enjoy it. So that's all I see. I don't think as much as I said Braun Strowman would have the title and would look better on him, it's only because where he's at right now. But would I think it'll be enough to make it relevant? I don't think so. I don't think it would make it irrelevant enough with the title on him. So I don't know. I don't know. It's a hard situation that they got to get out of. I don't think they realize the situation they put themselves in with that title. I don't think they realize how big it is.
But what did you think about the Paul Heyman interview?
I already told you. I gave up on
it. It was very emotional. Very emotional.
I gave up on after the whole B team thing and whatnot. Yeah, I bet it was emotional.
Well, Paul Heyman was on the brink of tears during most of it.
Yeah, I seen the what do you want to call it? The little clip that they had.
It was a twist on Paul Heyman's promo work that he does. This one was, you know, normally you have a Paul Heyman who's very cocky and very confident. And this time you had a very emotional Paul Heyman who was more on the opposing side of things, who was afraid himself of what Brock Lesnar was going to be capable of. He was, instead of, you know, being more threatening towards Roman Reigns, this time he's more like afraid for Roman Reigns and for what's going to happen to Roman Reigns. To me, if you really want to try to break it down, you could argue that maybe this is going to be Paul Heyman helping Roman Reigns. The way that he's kind of showing, he's showing concern for Roman Reigns.
We were talking about that.
In a way here, so it could be built up to that. It's definitely a possibility. You guys,
yeah, we were talking about that a while.
You guys use this word, relevant, quite a bit. I don't think you guys know the definition. I don't think that the Universal Championship is irrelevant at all. I think it's very relevant. I think,
Wow, what makes you think it's relevant? What's so relevant about
like I've said in past weeks, everybody's concerned with it in some kind of way. Everybody.
Well,
of course,
and that makes it relevant.
But it's not relevant.
Or relevance.
It doesn't have any prestige.
Relevance doesn't have to be
exactly.
prestige.
It's not prestigious.
Relevance doesn't have to be positivity. It doesn't have to be something that you're happy or excited for. That's not what relevance means. Irrelevance could be something. Relevance could be something negative and unhappy.
It has no spot.
The problem is nobody cares about it. No, they might be like.
You can't say that though. You can't. Well, you gotta avoid your personal feelings and the feelings of the people, the small group of people you have that you include yourself in.
You don't. No, you don't. That's exactly the opposite of what you're not supposed to do. What are you, a Nazi? You have to avoid your feelings when you're like, no. You have to let your feelings in. and enjoy it. You have to
that's
take
what
your
you said.
feelings and find it. You don't. You have to block all your emotions when you watch wrestling. Don't be yourself. Be a man.
Okay.
I'm saying when you. No, I'm simply saying for
Okay.
the point of saying that nobody cares about this. You're saying that because you don't care about it, not because nobody in the world cares about it. Because you and the few people, the few friends, the subscribers that you have, the people you talk to about wrestling on a daily basis.
Oh, the few subscribers. Look at him throwing shade.
No.
Your few subscribers.
Oh.
1 or 2 guys over there.
You're making this a whole nother
I see what
thing.
he's doing.
You're just trying to troll
Can
me.
I just say something?
You can't say that nobody
Yeah.
cares about this, or the WWE wouldn't be booking it.
We're not saying that. Look, we're not saying that nobody cares. We know you care, and we
I'm
know
not. This
people
isn't me
care.
versus you guys.
It's
This isn't a
it's
Brock
just-
Lesnar
there's
defense
no-
argument. This
There's
is.
no relevant spot
Look, here's the people who care.
for that title.
Brock
There's no
Lesnar, Brock
relevant
Lesnar
spot for that
fans,
title.
Brock Lesnar fans, and 8-year-old kids who like Roman Reigns.
Yes.
And
I hate Roman
they're-
Reigns.
wait,
You're not
let me
8 years
finish,
old,
and their
man. Why are you
moms
so
like
defensive?
Roman Reigns.
Yo, well, I'm gonna say
What
it right
the-
now. Yo, okay, half me does not
But-
want to see Roman Reigns at the top. That's my
The
opinion.
fact that we get
But
into this heated
I will say
argument every
this.
time Brock Lesnar's name is brought up is why it's relevant. That's what
Because
relevance
Brock
means.
Lesnar's not-
We get so emotional.
Brock
Did
Lesnar's
we
not
act like
relevant.
this about Mojo Rawley versus Bobby Roode? No. Why? Because they're not
No,
relevant.
because
Yes,
it's Brock
yeah, we
Lesnar's
did, we
fault
did.
and WWE's fault. It's their
Yeah,
fault.
because
They,
of,
like I
yeah,
said,
because
they
of
don't
bad
realize
booking.
what they did with that title. You can't sit
Yo,
there
ever
and
since-
say that the title is not relevant. Like, you can't say that title is relevant. It has no spot in the WWE. It's not even a fucking title at this point. It doesn't even make a show up. It only made a show up, like, what, that one time since, Greatest Royal Rumble or whatever? I
Yeah.
mean,
I've
wow,
seen
and it
Braun-
was
I
just
think
laying
I've
down
seen
on a
Braun
couch. It
Strowman's
was
green
just
belt more than
laying
I've
down
seen
on a
him
couch. It
wrestle
wasn't
forever.
held. It was just laying down on a fucking couch. It's like it was a piece of garbage. It just laying
It
there.
doesn't.
Was it around his waist? He wasn't
It
holding
doesn't matter.
Piece of garbage.
It does not
It
matter.
does matter because
That's
you're
a
gonna have a
personal.
Guys,
That's a personal
this
view
is not
on the.
UFC. This is not UFC. You don't show up every 3 months with a fucking title. That's not how.
That's a
WWE works.
personal
UFC.
feeling on what.
It's not a personal
Yes,
feeling.
it is. It's
It's
storyline.
what it is. It's
Do you
what
want?
It is, though. It's
Do
not a
you want
personal
every
feeling.
single
Wait,
championship
here-
title
Okay, no, I think
in the WWE to be
a lot of
defended
things
every
that
single week?
happen-
Is that what you want?
A lot of things
It doesn't
that
have to
happen
be
in the
defended every
WWE.
week, but every couple weeks would be fine.
Well, look, they
Jeez.
start off
Or
not
every
being
pay-per-view
story,
or something.
but once it becomes a compounding thing, then they run with it. You see this happen a lot of the times. I don't think the initial intention was to have Brock Lesnar never defend the title and piss off all the fans in WWE. That wasn't the initial intention, but that's the
I
way
don't think
things
it
ended
was
up working
either.
out because either contract negotiations, Brock Lesnar and doing this and this. It's not all him, I'm sure. If he wants more money for less
It's
dates,
fucking WWE.
that's a smart
Fine.
decision. That's making more money, and I mean, it's like the Conor McGregor thing, you know. If he can make $1 billion for one fight, why fight 500 more? You
Yeah.
know, so I understand, and I'm not mad at him for not having the money or taking the money, but at the same time, does he need to have the belt?
I'm not
That's
even.
probably even worse. That's probably part of his contract. Is that he's probably got to be the fucking champion, or he's
You're
not.
None of this
lucky.
had.
You're just lucky that they don't do what they do on the UFC, is which
Well,
they
they
would
can.
have.
Because it's all scripted. It's not. They're different worlds. You can't compare that.
I know, no. I'm
aspect
just
of it.
talking about title-wise. There's to a certain extent where they have somebody hold the title for, well, how long they can hold the title, and if that person does not want to wrestle and to like defend his title against somebody, or I should say fight, then they have this thing where it's like a ghost title, which there's two people fighting for that title, and then whoever wins currently holds that title. It's like a secondary title, and then once that person fights the original holder and wins, he obtains the title. So just lucky they don't do something like that in WWE.
Well,
Because
they
if
may
they did,
should
then
keep it interesting, like temporary placeholders.
yeah.
Because that's my biggest issue is that, you know, basically you're trying to convince me that the belt is a heel. You know, that just because it's not on TV that it's doing its job. You know, it's doing what it's supposed to do because of its absence. You're trying to do some reverse psychology stuff, and to me personally, and yes, I agree, this is my personal opinion, but after all, this is a podcast, and that's what we gathered here for, was to share our personal opinion. And my personal opinion on it is that it sucks, because it doesn't, we need to see the championship. You need to see the king to care about the king. You need to see the pope to care about the pope. You got to see Jesus to care about Jesus. That's why he's on the cross right there in every church, big old Jesus. You got to see these things to care about them. If you never see it, and all you're doing is talking, where's it at? I never see it. I don't know. When you got that boss at work, you're like, it always disappears. Like, what, you ever see that? I don't ever see him. He's always disappearing. You know, it's not a good thing for the company, for the fans, for anybody.
But the whole
maybe it is quote unquote relevant, but for all the wrong reasons.
Thank you. That's all I was saying. Is it's relevant. That's it. Simple. That's all. The whole point I was trying to make. I didn't want to go on a Brock Lesnar debate. I was just saying you can't say that it's not relevant.
You wanted to go on a grammar debate?
Basically.
With 3 people who can probably barely speak English and 1 who really can't, because Ben's Australian.
Basically, that's all. I just wanted you guys to admit that it's relevant. That's all I wanted.
Okay.
That's all I wanted.
Sheep, you want to know something? Well,
he's over here talking about didgeridoos and aborigines and chicken.
And by the way, one last thing on this subject.
Okay.
Like.
Huh? What, Ben?
Yeah, the only thing that only actually made the Universal title go right downhill. You know how Goldberg had it? Yeah. When Goldberg lost it, that's when it went all downhill for the Universal title. And that's just my personal opinion. I'm just saying, like, I'm kind of like, if you want to bring the title.
I just,
back,
you know, I'm gonna
just
say it one more time. Like I said before in a recent podcast, the Universal title was supposed to be a prestigious title. It was supposed to be like the main title of WWE because it's on Raw, and Raw is such, you know, the leading brand, and it's not. It's not that title. It's not. Like, you can say it is
show
if you
doesn't
want
have
to.
its flagship belt, you know.
Exactly.
But you said yourself earlier
their
tonight
title.
that there really isn't anybody that you see that would be a good Universal Champion currently.
I named 2 people, but I doubt it will happen. I mean, Dean Ambrose, it might happen.
I can name 10 people who would be a good Universal Champion.
Yeah, okay. We can name more, but I just named 2
Dolph
off the bat.
Dolph Ziggler, Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, you know.
What about
Kevin Owens?
What about
Braun
Elias?
Strowman,
What about Elias?
Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, Elias. Good champion.
But are any of those?
I don't necessarily want to see all those people.
Are any of those like on? That's the problem. None of those guys are like on an AJ Styles level of a superstar. The problem is that they're.
AJ
Styles isn't on an AJ Styles level of superstar. AJ Styles.
Let's just say the
overrated.
title came out 2 years ago and only had like 4 title holders. Like, come on, man. Came out
Kevin
2 years
Owens?
ago and only 4
Finn
title
Balor?
holders.
Yep, hang on.
Finn Balor just held it for 1 day.
But-
So can we really count that?
But these guys have all been champions before.
Yeah, but he was
here's
still
the
champion.
problem.
Still champion.
Nobody in the WWE, no one is that you're looking at it all wrong, because you can't look at it like, well, there's nobody that's on the level of, you know, quote unquote. They don't have a the guy anymore. There's no person that's clearly the guy that everybody's behind, because nobody wants to. This is a day and age where, first of all, nobody wants to be behind the most popular guy. Everybody's a hipster. Everybody's got to pick the second best guy or their personal favorite. People are more able to choose the person that they actually want to choose, as opposed to the people they choose because their friends picked that person or something like that. Because back in the day, everybody's favorite was the Hulk Hogan, was the Macho Man, and everybody's least favorite was the bad guy, the heel. Now people's favorites are the heel. That wasn't the case back in the day. So now it's a different dynamic. And you can't look at it the way you used to look at it, and it's not black and white at all. You have to look at it from a fan perspective, from a story perspective, from a creative perspective. And from a financial perspective, because at the end of the day, they're there to make money and they don't give a damn about you.
Exactly.
But as far as that title goes, if they want, it should be relevant. It should be there. It should be the focus point of that show. Even if it's not being defended, they should have a where's the title graphic up? Where'd it go today? Something to show that it still matters. They should be talking about it every single week. But the
I mean, I
problem
guess they're
is that
kind of
when Brock
talking about it
Lesnar
with the whole situation about who's gonna
right now,
face
but
and
for
Brock.
6 months when Brock Lesnar's not there, they'll skip over. They'll just not even mention it, like it doesn't exist. And they'll just Intercontinental Championship match for you tonight. Oh, and don't forget, 6 months from now at SummerSlam, will Brock Lesnar be there? And that'll be the only time they mention or even say that, hey, there's a Universal title, and it's supposed to be the most important thing on the show. But
Here's the sad part to this whole story here. To the new viewers of wrestling that join in and watch Raw for the first time before, the whole thing that Brock Lesnar showed up on during the week. Before that, they just been watching Raw and seeing, the only title that's there, which is the Intercontinental title. They seen that defended every week, and then all of a sudden they see this fucking guy coming out with the fucking red title, and they're like, huh, what is that? It's just like, it confuses people. I mean, yeah, they can bring it up, but they bring it up very briefly. It's just like, yeah, it's just, that's the problem there. It's not represented as it should be represented in the brand, like Sheep was saying. It's not.
But
It's not the
I think we
flagship title.
probably have dwelt way too long on Universal title problems, so we should probably move on.
Yeah.
So,
All right, moving on. Bayley and Sasha Banks versus the Riot Squad.
this is great stuff, man.
I was very entertained. It was amazing. I loved it. It was so good. Yeah, man. We have a problem? The fuck, man?
I personally don't have anything to say on this. I blatantly don't care.
I'm gonna say this right now. It's just that, it was a match, but
well, obviously it was a match.
Why is
what a very informing statement.
Okay, it's very bad. Like just about because like the one thing that's bringing it down is how Bayley and Sasha Banks have got that tag team thing, right? The name of it, I don't like it. The Boston Hug Connection. What? Okay, I kind of just want to skip over this now.
I don't know. Like, okay, we already talked about it many times, and we already told our feelings about this. Like, I know we have to basically mention it every weekend because people, that didn't hear it. It's just like, do we have to talk about it? That's the thing.
That's what I mean.
You guys want to talk about it?
I'm not talking about it. I know
Soul says he doesn't have nothing to say, but I don't know.
About
anything?
I really don't.
Bayley, Sasha, Riot Squad. Well, to break it down, it was just a match. It was a tag team match. Sarah Logan, Liv Morgan defeated Bayley and Banks.
Reconnecting.
And we had a surprise return from Ruby Riott came out, got involved in the match, beat up she distracted Sasha and Bailey and got the Riot Squad the victory.
Yeah.
And the whole point of it was to keep the rivalry going, to keep Bailey and Sasha relevant, and
Yeah.
Ruby Riot's big return. See what I did
It's
there?
more
I made a
interesting
joke.
than just.
I made a joke. Did you get
It
it?
is more interesting than just them together without Ruby Riot. It is more interesting to be a 3-on-2 kind of scenario. It does add at least something more than just the plain, not very interesting pairing of Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan, and somewhat interesting now pairing of Bailey and Sasha. Now that we had the unnecessary building period. It's like they tried to do the Sheamus and Cesaro thing, but in a really awkward and dumb way. And now, really nobody cares about Sasha or Bailey because we had to sit through so much garbage. And it didn't even pay off. They're not even lesbian.
Oh my god.
I think that's the most
I
disappointing
kid.
factor here.
Don't crucify me.
I don't know. I think it's really cringy, honestly. I don't like it. I stated it before. I don't like it. I mean, I understand the whole friendship thing. I know they're trying to spread positivity and all this stuff. And it was like, teen drama. And then, oh, we're all getting back together. Yay, we're friends. Yeah, I understand it. But, I don't know. I don't care for it. The whole women's division, I don't really care for at the moment. So.
Okay.
Then what you gotta say about
Moving on.
Ronda Rousey versus Alicia Fox?
Facts.
Like I said, I didn't even watch these matches, so I don't even know.
Why was Ronda Rousey in the main event?
Because she's Ronda
Because
Rousey.
it was to give her debut in Raw.
And it was her first singles match on Monday Night Raw.
Match, yeah.
Ever.
Well, also this has just like also just speaking.
I didn't bother watching it because it's stupid. Why the fuck did she fight Alicia Fox? What's the point of her fighting Alicia
showed
Fox?
you.
What's the point of a squash match? To squash someone. It's in the name.
Yeah,
they showed you. Well, it's not a squash match, and they explained it before the match.
Well, yeah.
Well, I didn't see it. Like I said, okay. Okay.
Well, you want her to look strong and capable.
Big.
Oh yeah, because everybody thinks Alicia Fox is more stronger than the fucking Ronda Rousey. Oh
well, they gave a backstory of Alicia Fox and all her accomplishments.
Oh yeah,
so,
Alicia Fox.
So
everybody was hoping and praying for Alicia Fox.
Well, if you would have watched, you would have not felt so that way.
Now in the main event, no one cares.
They brought up all of Alicia Fox's accomplishments in the company before the match.
Irrelevant.
So she didn't look like it was just a squash match. They brought up the championships that she's won and the things she's done in the company.
You remember when Alicia Fox didn't have a shirt for the longest time? And then she finally got a shirt, and then when she finally got a shirt, it was like 2 weeks after she became irrelevant.
Well, no, and then she got hurt right after she got her shirt.
Oh yeah, basically.
Oh god.
She got hurt.
Yeah, this was it was a squash match. I don't agree with a squash match being the main event. That is my caveat in that one little aspect that I don't agree. I do agree that
that's why I didn't watch it.
She can have a squash match. That's fine. I understand that.
But the main event though.
I agree with that. I agree. It shouldn't have been that. But
that's why I didn't watch it.
What should have been the main event? The main event should have been what's it called? Like Ziggler, Drew McIntyre, and Seth Rollins. That's what it should be.
Yeah, but
you can't just put Seth Rollins in the main event every.
Yeah, that's the problem.
I think they should just.
It's better than having a stupid Ronda Rousey, Alicia Fox.
It's not stupid because Ronda Rousey is best for business. She's a huge celebrity across the world.
They should just move NXT into Raw's slot and just put Raw on the network and let the people who don't really have time for a show just watch Raw instead. We can just watch NXT and make that the good show.
Yeah, let's do
Just
that.
move NXT to Mondays, put Raw on the network on Wednesdays, and be done with it.
Just throw away the fucking main card show. Throw away the fucking
Yeah.
flagship
Just
show.
replace it with NXT, and we'll be good.
Yeah, just rebrand it. That's all you have to do. I bet nobody will notice if NXT comes on and it just says Raw on Wednesday. It's just like welcome to Raw. It's like whoa.
And the Raws in gold and black.
Yeah.
But the NXT's in red and white. Red and black.
Yeah.
See, got it figured out. This is how we can make
That's
WWE
easy. You don't have to put
successful.
that much effort. Just change the text. That's all you have to do. All right. So SmackDown, huh? What about that SmackDown?
Yeah.
Shut your mouth.
What about it?
I don't know. Tell us.
SmackDown kicked off with Randy Orton.
Another Randy Orton promo. Another good promo from Randy Orton. I liked it. I like it a lot.
I could get used to Randy Orton coming out first. It's much better than Roman Reigns coming out first on Raw. Definitely an upgrade.
Definitely.
I would have to agree with that, Soul. I'd have to agree with that. I would definitely prefer Randy over Roman. Fine.
Of course. So, Randy had another promo, cutting loose, letting everybody know what he's getting himself into. Starting with Jeff Hardy. He's gonna get rid of Jeff Hardy and move his way on to take out everybody that everybody loves. So I'm interested to see who's gonna be next after Jeff Hardy. I don't know what's gonna happen.
The main thing. The main thing that has me a little bit, I don't know if it's concerned or like in this day and age, why were so many people booing Randy Orton then? Like they don't get it? Are there still people who don't get it? Like there were grown-ups who were like boo because he hurt Jeff Hardy or something. Like they're big, I guess. People that are still that big and invested into their favorite superstars that they can't put aside something just to see the greatness.
Some of them may
Randy
just be
Orton finally being.
They could also be just having fun and playing along with the crowd.
Yeah, I think they were.
Like I could see myself if I was there. I could see myself booing too, just being in the moment.
I would not, but if I was there, I would not be. I would be doing the bow. I guess that would be me, because I wouldn't try to be that, that crazy about it. But I couldn't be sitting there booing Randy Orton when he's putting on the best work.
Well, it's a different feeling when. Well, no, not. I'm thinking more of like whenever he was pulling on Jeff Hardy's ear. I could see myself going along with the boos. Not booing him while he's trying to talk. Yeah, I wouldn't boo him while he's talking.
This show, there were large percentage of the audience was booing.
Well, here's the thing with the audience. Are they really that respectful? Come on now. You see how the audience is these days and age with WWE. They're really disrespectful these days, and
that's why you would think that they would cheer Randy Orton over anything. Because now the people like the heels, and they like the people who are doing
because they're disrespectful. I mean, they're doing stupid shit all the time in the crowd when matches goes on. They're assholes. The universe is assholes. That's what they are at this point.
Okay, Street, can
I mean, they
actually
fucking
just
count down for a damn clock during one of the best matches in a pay-per-view. Like, really? Is that what you're gonna fucking do? Seth Rollins putting hard work, Dolph Ziggler putting hard work, and they're going, like, fucking really? Come on now.
4, 3, 2,
And they basically chant Rusev Day for every fucking match that they find boring.
Yeah, because, frickin' Rusev Day is, like, relevant.
But, yeah, you don't say that on, like, why would you go on NXT or Raw? I mean, thank God they don't do that on NXT, but why are you gonna say that on a brand that Rusev's not even on? That's just stupid.
Yeah, true.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't care. I mean, I don't care.
I don't care.
I don't care. I don't care.
I don't care.
So,
Yeah, yeah. I feel like
Shame on
do
you
that
people.
on WWE like pay-per-views also. Didn't they do that for the pay-per-views also?
Yeah, they do. We were just talking about the stupid shit they do on pay-per-views.
Yo, I can never ever understand the WWE universe.
They just became a bunch of assholes. They don't get what they want, so they become assholes.
I was just like, yeah, please do something.
What's up?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to not say that.
Alright, so we can move on to the next match, I guess. Becky Lynch and Charlotte versus Iconics. Iconic.
Did you hear that crowd booing the Iconics this week?
I was surprised of that too. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm surprised.
They were screaming, "This is boring."
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it was just that crowd for SmackDown.
Oh, I don't know.
I
think people in general may be getting a little worn out on their promos. 'Cause they're kind of coming out and giving us the same thing every week. Like every time they talk, it's like, I don't know, the petty little making fun of people. Like, I don't know. It's just gotten old. Like, it's not funny like it was at first.
That's their gimmick. That's what they do, though.
Well, of course.
That's what
I
they
know.
do, though. So.
Yeah,
do you have a problem with them? Street or sheep?
Do I have a problem with them?
I don't mind the Iconics. I mean, they can be corny at times.
Wait, are you telling me I have a problem with them, or are you asking me?
Those are Ben's hometown heroes. You better leave.
They are Australian, so I have to defend them. I gotta defend them.
It's his girl.
It's
his girl.
I didn't say I had a problem with them.
Don't you talk about the Iconics?
The Iconics. The Iconics.
The Iconics.
The Iconics. Iconic.
You don't have to like them just because they're from Australia, Ben. There's plenty of American wrestlers that are terrible.
I mean, do I have to like the Patriots?
Do I have to like the Revival? No.
Do I have to like the Red Sox? But I do. Do I have to like Boston Bruins even though I don't watch fucking hockey? I do.
You have to like Mark Wahlberg? You do.
Well, I do like Mark Wahlberg. That's probably.
I don't have anything to say about this.
We all have to go for something in our hometown.
I know. Well.
I mean, not really, because I don't really. I'm not a big fan of Sasha Banks, and she's from Boston, Massachusetts. So.
Yeah, but that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. I'm defending my babe.
Who's your babe?
Hold up, Ben. Is there something that we don't know?
That just came out wrong. I'm sorry. That just came out wrong. I was like,
Ben's got
I think I may need to.
Ben, have you been fap cheating on Nikki Bella?
No.
I think I may need to actually retire now. I think I need to retire.
Oh, you need to retire?
Yeah, from professional
Put the
wrestling.
lotion away.
Thank you very much.
It puts the lotion on us.
Goodbye.
Yeah. Anyways.
Did you say that?
Anyways. People are saying that Charlotte is stealing the heat from Becky Lynch in this match. And I think, what's his name? Graves mentioned it as well. Stealing Becky Lynch's spotlight, I believe. What do you guys feel about that? Do you think that's what she's going to do? What do you feel about these two? Becky Lynch and Charlotte?
I had my whole rant last week about this. I'm not going to go that crazy on it this time.
Yeah, same.
I mean, yeah, we did.
I've got hope that it's gonna turn out well. I'm entrusting WWE with this very, very important story. Of all the women's wrestling storylines, this is the one right now that means the most to me. So
yeah, same.
My faith is in their hands. If they fuck it up, it's on them. I mean, I could say I'll never watch it again, but that'd be a fucking lie, so I'm not gonna say that.
Just briefly, just tell us, for the people that, is gonna listen, who you want to win.
No, everybody wants. I mean, I would think Becky. Shh, get the fuck out of here, Becky Lynch.
I'll be right back, guys. I gotta
Becky
step
Lynch,
away.
yeah.
Carry on.
He's really in his feelings. See, he's got to step away, collect
really
himself. He's probably on the
smoke
verge
a
of tears
cigarette
right now.
I really do want Carmella to win. I think
Emotional
Carmella
moment.
needs to deserve to
No,
win.
you don't, Ben. You don't want Carmella to
I
win.
do.
If you're saying you want
I
Carmella to
do.
win, you're stupid. Because
He
you
wants
know
Carmella to
damn
win 'cause
sure
he's
right
okay.
you want. You
Well,
know
his-
you
his-
want Becky
His
Lynch to
decision
win.
is not based on talent or in-ring ability or on who's deserving it. He's being stubborn like Soul does with Brock Lesnar.
He's fanboying out over here. He's fanboying out.
No, I'm saying because a lot of people
Ben,
are,
you really
actually
think
putting Carmella
you really think
down.
Carmella has the skill?
Okay.
Like she has no skill whatsoever.
Okay.
She can talk,
well,
all right. She
okay,
has mic skills, but her
well-
in-ring performance skills, they're like 0 to none.
Alexa Bliss has better in-ring skills, and Alexa Bliss has better talking skills. So.
Well, actually,
I've always said this. I always said this, and I'm gonna say it again. Carmella is just a ripoff of Alexa Bliss. That's all she is.
Okay, can I?
Is a ripoff.
Okay, can I say something?
I don't get why people think she's not that hot.
Well,
I mean,
at least
she's
Carmella
hot.
is
I
much
like her.
better
Not to me.
than
I don't like her. I prefer Becky Lynch.
I don't like Becky Lynch as well.
You want to say? Well, at least that Carmella is much better than Lana. Just saying.
No, not in my opinion.
No, in my opinion either.
Nope, you said it. You said that,
you said it. I never said that.
No, you said Carmella was worse than, Alexa Bliss. Well, I'm also just stating the fact that, yeah. Well, look at Lana. She doesn't actually have the talent. So
Lana actually has a lot of talent. And I would like to see her in ring again, performing in ring.
Ben, here's the difference. Here's the difference. Lana's had 2 matches and she's not a champion.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah,
from the two matches she has.
They're not shoving Lana down our throats and making us trying to make us believe that she's a competent competitor and a good wrestler. You can't miss somebody out in 2 weeks and automatically just say that they're getting by on their smarts, because Carmella was never the brains of any operations when she was running with
Ellsworth.
Enzo, and when she was running with Enzo and Cass, it wasn't she wasn't running shit. She was doing all her dirty work. If she were that type of person, then they would have built that type of angle. But she's a good heel, but she's not a good wrestler. She's not good in ring, and I want to see Becky Lynch win the belt. It's time. People have been hollering about it for 2 years since she lost it. It's time. It's not fair that she hasn't had it. They put the belt on Nate. They put the belt on Charlotte. They put the belt on.
Yeah, well, Becky has
everybody else, but they can't put the belt on once in 2 years. The first time it was announced.
Yep.
Yeah.
So is Carmella, like twice.
I know.
But when Carmella actually did win it, it was like because she was like being smart about it. Because remember the last time that we had Carmella Asuka tried to get the title? What happens? Nah, she was like, bleh. All she was focusing was Ellsworth. So, you want to say? I'll say this right now. I bet $50 that Carmella's going to walk out of SummerSlam as champion. I'm betting that right now.
I wouldn't take that bet because it's not. I can't say that WWE won't continue doing that. You might be right, Ben, but I'm not saying what I think the outcome of the match is going to be. I was saying what I want the outcome of the match to be. I'm not trying to make a bet because I would never make a bet with something as unpredictable as WWE. You never know what they're going to try to do, and even if you think you do, you don't. They'll do the dumbest possible thing, or they'll do exactly what you wanted at the wrong moment. It's WWE, Ben. I'm not making that bet. That would be Somebody, even if you win, you were practically throwing away money.
Actually, the only problem is the only two people I would rather see the champion on is championship on is Carmella or Charlotte. Both those deserve the title already. Same.
Why does Charlotte deserve another title reign?
She's had both titles. She's had every title in the fucking company. I think she can take a break and go without a title for a little while. I mean, that's just my opinion, but you know, she's had every single one in the show. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Papa Soul is here. He's gonna break it down for us.
Yep. I could see that happening.
So you're saying we're gonna see heel Becky?
I think so, yeah. Maybe not a full-blown heel, but, you know, frustrated, upset that Charlotte stole her moment, and just takes her anger out on Charlotte. You know, maybe more of a disappointment kind of heel turn. Disappointed that Charlotte stole the spotlight when it's supposed to be her moment. So she's in her feelings and attacks Charlotte and wants to take the title from her.
Why do I just actually get like the absolute feeling like that this could actually be like, you know, yeah, I know that, yeah, yes, I know like I am actually going to be able to like mention about two people on Raw, which I don't really want to talk about their names anymore. You know, when Bayley attacked Sasha, right? Do you feel like that's like what it's going to be?
Not exactly.
That's what I could
not
see.
exactly. Somewhat.
No, you know,
somewhat along those lines,
like,
but not a long, drawn out, back and forth type thing. It's gonna be like a quick thing. Like, you know, it's just
Oh, please let it end with Becky and Charlotte saying they love each other, and then we get a four-way.
Oh God, no! I think it'll be a short. A short.
The four horsewomen.
It'll be a short feud just leading up to the next pay-per-view. Maybe even Evolution.
A love square.
Maybe it'll be. Oh, maybe they'll be the women's championship match for Evolution, because they are two of the four horsewomen of the WWE. So having them two against each other would be a big draw for the Evolution pay-per-view.
I don't care.
I don't care. But let's move on, because we've been talking about that for a very long time.
Yeah, let's
AJ Styles addresses Samoa Joe.
Cool. Moving on. Lana versus Lena Vega.
No, we are not freaking skipping. One of the best, and I will say this like in my own opinion, was actually one of the best freaking promos in history.
I wasn't sold on it.
History?
I wasn't sold on it either. It was a promo. It was AJ Styles promo.
Yeah.
Everybody knows AJ Styles. They know his promos.
Well,
God damn. There's nothing to really talk about it. We already know what's going to happen. We know what's going down.
Styles versus Samoa Joe is going to be like one of the best feuds now. It's like one of these.
I agree.
Maybe it might, but who knows?
Maybe. Yo,
Who knows?
If
We
they
don't know
book it
yet
correctly,
because
this could
there's
be
not much to it at the
this
moment.
could be
back in
the
TNA
greatest
days,
rivalry of
like
the
the
year if they book it correctly.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
but
see, my thought was that it's oh shit, it's going down because Samoa Joe talks about his family.
yeah.
So AJ Styles just comes out there and basically all he does is says, "You talked about my family. I'm gonna whoop your ass then."
Yeah.
Well, he's got to be
Okay.
family-friendly,
Well, what- he
PG
What?
role model.
No, he doesn't because Daniel Bryan can go attack the Miz and it's all fine and dandy. The same exact thing should have happened with AJ Styles. Remember, AJ Styles was fighting with Shane McMahon, and AJ Styles was still the face. This wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
I guess you're right.
So, point in fact, you don't have to follow anything when you're AJ Styles. That the main person on the show, the house that AJ Styles built.
I mean, we can even talk about the whole supposed feud against Roman Reigns and John Cena, and that was pretty crazy. All the disses and whatnot they did like back and forth with each other. There was like no freaking handlebars. They just let themselves out there.
Yeah.
No one was holding their hands and say, "You gotta keep it PG-13, all right? Don't say anything bad." No. He's the main guy. He's gonna be the fucking cover boy. Come on. Jesus Christ.
What I wanted this week was for
2K19 team.
basically
2K19.
a backstage attack, or for like a really
Well, they're
impassioned
probably
AJ just to let it
they're
all
saving
out.
that for next week.
To let Samoa Joe get the best of him, and not necessarily in the ring or to let Samoa Joe win, but to get the mind trick, to let his anger overcome him. You know what I'm saying? Let him get so mad that it takes him out. You know what I mean?
Well, I think we'll get that
storytelling
next
drama.
week. I think we got 1 week. We got Samoa Joe coming out, talking, saying what he wanted to say. This week we got AJ Styles coming out, and then the last week I think we'll get the physical interaction. But I do think that if they book this correctly, this match is going to be incredible. I actually just rewatched one of their matches from TNA a couple days ago, and they had an amazing rivalry in TNA. But you know how WWE likes to water stuff down, so I really hope that they don't screw this one up. I've been really, really excited about this since the moment Samoa Joe made a presence on SmackDown Live. I've been waiting for this. So I really hope they don't ruin this. I think this will be this could be AJ Styles' biggest rivalry since he's been in the company. If they do it right. But let's move on. We have Lana versus Zelina Vega. One-on-one competition.
Which was a pretty good match in my opinion.
It wasn't bad.
I think, honestly, I'm just gonna say, Lana, she's a good wrestler from what I'm seeing.
I wouldn't say she's good. I'd say she's improved. She was so bad before that they literally
but she only had
stopped
2
allowing
matches,
her to wrestle.
From the matches she had, it seemed really good. So.
Well, I'm sure she's been practicing and training and working on it since they literally pulled her from the ring and didn't allow her to wrestle because she was performing so badly. That's why she didn't wrestle for a long time.
Well,
look, my girlfriend watches Total Divas. She knows all the backstory, okay? I know. Lana was very hurt for a while because they weren't going to let her wrestle. But at least she went back to training and working on it.
She doesn't look that bad of a wrestler.
Well, now no.
She puts on better performances than other people.
Her suplex.
She's gotten better. That's what I'm saying.
Well, yeah. Zelina Vega though, she's not bad.
Zelina Vega was.
Zelina Vega's never
She
been
came
bad.
from what?
I'd love
Impact,
to see
right?
her as champion. I'd love to see her.
Didn't Zelina Vega come from Impact originally?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Huh?
What do you mean? Wait, what do you mean?
Was it Zelina Vega in Impact before she came to WWE?
I don't even think so.
Want me to tell you right now? I'll tell you right now. Yeah, she was in Impact. You're right. She was part of a group.
She's been wrestling for a long time.
Mexican American.
I was about to like say LAX.
Mexican America. She was part of that group.
Yeah.
I was about to like just like
so
say
she's been wrestling for a long time, so of course she's skilled in the ring. But it was a pretty good match.
She's alright to me.
And this was.
I don't see her being.
This was leading up to
somebody on par with Becky Lynch or something.
Well, you only see what they want you to see.
Well, no shit.
No.
But this is leading up to Andrade and Zelina versus Rusev and Lana in the pre-show of SummerSlam.
Yeah, and the kickoff show, which I won't be able to watch that because I'm gonna be fucking away. God damn it!
You can watch it, Ben.
You're gonna be in Hawaii.
Anything that's on the NXT any day after it airs, Ben. So I don't know what the fuck your problem is. You have a whole fucking 4 days to watch NXT, and do you? No.
Yes, okay, well,
did you watch NXT today?
Yes.
All of it.
Oh my God! You finally watched it.
He didn't watch
the other weekend.
What was the last match?
I did. Okay, the last match was
What was the match? Never mind. You didn't watch it. You already admitted that you didn't watch it. We're not going to go into NXT yet. Let's keep going with the Zelina Vega Lana thing. Let's not get on to NXT. Yeah. I was okay with the match. It was fine. I wasn't as like. She is getting better, Lana. The storyline, the Rusev Day storyline part is, to be honest, getting old to me now. I think it's past its expiration, in my opinion. And I'm kind of ready for the Rusev Day part to end and just see what we're going to get next.
Same. Because it's coming. It's coming. I want to see what's going to happen.
I want to see the Rusev character from...
yeah, but you know, here's another problem. Here's another issue. Here's another problem. You know those Rusev Day chants is never going to end. They're going to be chanting Rusev Day chants till 10 years from now. It's going to be one of those chants that they always chant. It's never going to stop. Rusev could be out of the company and be like, Rusev Day, Rusev Day. It's just going to be one of those chants. I mean, they do it already for matches that they don't like, and they just sit there and chant it.
That is true. You guys ready to move on?
Yes.
Yeah.
To a little of a good backstage.
Wait, a little
bit of a good backstage. We had
no,
we had an interview with The Miz and Brian Saxton.
Part of this.
On the set of Mrs. and Mrs., by the way. Miz and Miss.
Okay, can we talk about one thing? Why have they not got rid of Byron Saxton already?
What?
Why haven't they not got rid of Byron Saxton yet?
Why
should they?
I don't know.
Byron Saxton's awesome. He's like a childish grown man.
He's like the new age Michael Cole.
I'm sorry, I have to say that. Yo,
I hate that I just used the words adorable to describe a grown man, but that's kind of what Byron Saxton is. You know, he gets all excited about the new day and pancakes.
He's
like an overly excited,
but it's
childish adult.
It's fun. It's one of the more lighthearted and more fun aspects of an otherwise pretty bleak and dreary show sometimes.
You know what? He's the opposite
promote
side.
Byron Saxton.
He's the opposite side of Corey Graves.
Yeah, that's why it makes them a great team. Is they always have an interesting arguments.
Yeah, they're the polar opposites, and the one in the middle is literally the one in the middle. Doesn't matter if it's Phillips or Cole or whoever it is, they're the middleman.
Yeah.
You got your straight guy, you got your heel, and you got your, like, super amped up face.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
We're not getting rid of Saxon. All right.
Yeah.
So you can calm down. We already got rid of. Which would be
if they
kind of. We already got
if
rid of.
they need to get rid of anyone, it's
what's his name?
Coach.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, I don't like
Bring
Coach.
Booker
Terrible.
back.
Booker,
needs to come back.
Booker.
Yes, but yes.
Who was
that's
it that
what I
who
wanna
was it
see.
that hated Booker? Wasn't it you, Street?
No,
I
it
don't
was
hate Booker.
Oh,
Somebody didn't
I
like
think
Booker
it
as
was-
a
Somebody in the-
announcer.
Corey
They were
Graves.
always
Somebody in the
complaining
chat
about
room.
it.
Corey Graves.
No, someone
Wait,
like
what are you talking about?
What?
Street,
I
I
think it
swear
was
it's you
Ben.
that you were always complaining about.
it
not.
wasn't
Booker
Street.
T.
No, I find Booker T hilarious. What are you talking about?
Oh.
Shit he says is just fucking funny. It's just, some of the shit that he says is stupid but funny. Like, yeah, I might
Seems
brag
like
on
he's-
like
Sometimes
like-
it's like he's drunk and doesn't know what he's talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, it's great.
I agree.
Like,
agree.
it could be like the worst thing that ever happened at the company, and he'd be like, "You gotta love it, baby." He'd be like, "What?"
Oh God. Yep, the ducky. Oh.
Well, anyways, about this promo, the Miz's promo on the set of
on the new set of
Miz and Mrs.
Miz
He had some pretty interesting things to say about Daniel Bryan, and guys, love it or hate it, I agree with him fully. I love the shit he says about Daniel Bryan because I feel the same way. I think it's funny how he brings up personal stuff. I think it's funny how he talks about how he's been carrying Daniel Bryan on his back all these years. The only thing I didn't like, but I like it and I don't like it. I like it because it was deep and emotional, but I don't like it because it was too personal. How he said Daniel Bryan's been at home and crying in bed for the past 2 years. It was good for promotional reasons, but that was a pretty low blow. I mean, what happened? The reason Daniel Bryan was home, well, he wasn't technically home the whole time, but
home.
Not being capable of
Yeah.
wrestling due to the injury. That's not something to poke fun at, but in the works of the promo, I'm sure it was something that was discussed behind closed doors, and Daniel Bryan was okay with it.
Mhm.
Because that's something really emotional that they're not gonna just allow him to say that without Daniel Bryan's approval, because that's pretty deep.
Yeah. You're right.
But it definitely made this whole feud even more relevant than it already was, in my opinion. But the Miz just has the power of doing that with anything. I'm definitely excited to see what's going to happen between these two. Daniel Bryan attacking the Miz was pretty interesting. I kind of, in a way, I seen it happening. I was kind of expecting it. But I was still taken by surprise just a bit. But I think this is a pretty good rivalry building up. I think SmackDown's doing pretty well for themselves as far as creativity. They have some good rivalries going on. Obviously, I've expressed how excited I am for AJ and Samoa Joe. That's amazing. What's going on with Randy Orton is amazing. The women's division is actually entertaining, as at least the Becky storyline is definitely
they've
good.
got the best tag teams.
Their tag team story is good. They've had the tag team tournament going on.
Yeah, but they do have some kind of weird stuff.
And then you got the Miz and Daniel Bryan.
But,
It's a much better show, much better stories going on, much better rivalries than anything over there.
The
on
one
Raw.
thing that
So is this another
kinda throws-
comeback for
Daniel Bryan?
SmackDown?
SmackDown's taking over again.
It's another
I
comeback
see
for SmackDown.
SmackDown winning Survivor Series this year as well. It's jumping ahead a few months, but
I was gonna say.
Well, there is one thing that kind of throws me about the Daniel Bryan attacking The Miz. Wasn't this on set of the Miz and Mrs. show?
No,
it wasn't really.
No, it was
Wasn't it?
not.
I think it
was
was
not.
made.
They
I
just
think it was
said
made
that.
to look like that, but it wasn't.
Well, no, but if we're going by canon, I'm not really believing that, you know, it is what they're telling us. But, you know, wouldn't that have had to mean that because it's a reality show and it's, like, in their house,
Yeah.
does that mean Daniel Bryan broke into their house and attacked
Oh, yeah.
the Miz? That would, to me,
I
would
think-
be a better story. Like, if, like, the Miz, like, got him arrested for robbery and stuff like
Sadly,
that.
I think that they didn't
Shane
think
McMahon had to go bail him
they
out.
didn't think this all the way through like you did, Cheap. I think that's the problem here. I think
Yeah, that's the
this would have
problem
been
with
this
WWE
also
now.
another thing to add on to what Sheep said. It also would have been more believable if Daniel Bryan wasn't dressed in his attire for the WWE. Maybe he just had on like a regular T-shirt and some cargo shorts, or like whatever he wears on Total Bellas or whatever. You know, whatever he wears in real life.
Live on set from
But
Miz
not
and
like his
Mrs., so
wrestling
that's
attire
my
and a
house.
T-shirt. Like they should have made it. Daniel Bryan's just there in street clothes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan goes to people's houses in wrestling attire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He goes to television sets in wrestling gear. You know, he goes around everywhere, fully ready to wrestle in a ring.
Total Bellas, he's just
that
chilling
drew
in his
me
wrestling gear.
But like, wouldn't it be? I think it would be so much better of a story if like, last week he broke into Daniel Bryan or the Miz's house and attacked him. So then this week the Miz comes back, calls the cops, has him arrested, and Shane McMahon has to bail him out.
Yeah. I think they didn't think this through very well.
Pay good money to see that.
That would be some good storytelling.
True.
I'm ready for my check, WWE, whenever you want to send it.
I don't know if any of you guys actually watched any of the episodes of Ms. and Mrs.
No.
Have you?
Nope.
I watched like a part of the first episode, and I was like, yeah,
Yeah, I got to
I guess it's your favorite show ever.
It's pretty corny. I don't.
I
care
haven't
for
watched it yet.
But you're still watching every episode. We know.
No, I don't watch every episode. I mean, it comes on right after SmackDown.
You just accidentally leave it on the whole time, huh?
Yeah, I leave the TV on while I'm playing Fortnite. And it's
Yeah,
running in
wow,
the background, and I
that's
listen to
true.
the shit they say, and I'm like, wow, really? Really?
Right.
The only
Another
thing-
boring
I
part,
know
right?
what was it, the first episode where he's talking about his fucking dick and shit? It's like, really?
So did you used to leave like that show with the really feminine guy?
Huh?
Did you used to leave that show on the the reality show before the Miz and Mrs. came on?
Fucking the
Used to-
gay
used to
guy
leave
that's
that on?
just trying to be straight. The
Hey, I don't know
fucking
what
gay
he is.
guy. Chris
Don't be
Lee?
judging people. You can't judge
He's
people.
gay. He's
Only
gay.
God
He's
can
definitely
judge him,
gay.
bro.
He's definitely gay, but he just has this reality TV show where
Just
he's
committed a
not
hate
gay.
crime.
Man, I'm not hating on gay people. I have no problem with the gay people. Alright? But I know a gay person
anyway,
when I see one.
That was the that's my feelings on the Miz and Mrs. And I think it would have been better if they would have included that whole aspect, or they would have thought it through. Like, you know, you can't. There's for even cheap TV shows and stuff, they make sure that two actors walk down the same side, or that the coffee cup is always on the same side of the thing. It's called continuity. It's canon. You have to have these things to make sure that so it's something that's so illogical that you can't. It suspends the belief. You're trying to fool people into believing that these scenarios are real, but it's on set of Miz and Mrs. and Daniel Bryan's in wrestling gear. And all, so it was hard to believe, but otherwise a good promo, always a good promo from the Miz. And you know,
Exactly.
Daniel Bryan does bring that passion aspect. You can feel that he genuinely loves wrestling. So I mean, I get that and I respect that.
Yep. Well
We
said.
can move on to my favorite part of the whole show.
Same here.
Yeah.
R-Truth
can move on
versus
to
Shinsuke Nakamura.
Oh,
This is
yeah.
not the
hang on.
match.
Yo,
Not the match,
The
but the promo
promo.
before this was the whole
Oh, yeah.
reason I love R-Truth.
Oh,
R-Truth is
Definitely.
hilarious. This was the funniest thing I've seen on WWE in probably a month.
I miss R-Truth so much. And
He's
I
gonna
hope they
wrestle. He's
keep
gonna
putting
take
him
down
back in action.
Carmella. He's gonna
He's
wrestle
gonna pin
Carmella.
Carmella.
What did you take down Carmella? I'll wrestle Carmella.
Once he pins Carmella, he can go for the belt.
Yeah.
yeah, how you gonna do that? Pin Carmella.
Yeah.
Yo, I
They
think
need to
this
give
is
R-Truth some more airtime. So, does anybody know why he hasn't gotten airtime until now? Anybody actually know
The
why?
injury. Remember we discussed
what do you
this.
mean?
Yeah, remember he was out for
he's
the
injured.
Oh
picture
yeah,
with
yeah,
the
yeah, that's right. I was just, I forget because I forget why Dean Ambrose is out half the time. And then I remember, oh yeah, he has injury.
Yeah, they pulled
He's
out
like,
chunks of bone out of his
Yo,
shoulder.
can we also talk? Yeah, Can we also talk about the R-Truth and Ty Dillinger?
I like their friendship. They're like their
Me
little.
too.
They're
Yeah.
challenging
Yeah,
each
it's
other to
good.
take on challenges that they're gonna lose.
Yeah.
But then they're like, you shouldn't do this. You should. I
Yo.
think it's hilarious. And like I said, R-Truth is the funniest thing in WWE right now to me.
Yo, imagine actually like seeing Ty Dillinger and R-Truth try and go for the tag team championships.
I actually would
I don't
not
know
mind
the-
that. I would not mind that.
I wouldn't either. But the match itself wasn't all that. It was filler. It was the
Yeah.
one piece of filler on this whole show. But it was even still good. You had R-Truth getting in his offense, doing his dance moves. He got to do the
He
come
put on
on.
a performance. He put on a
It
performance.
wasn't a 5-star match, but it wasn't bad by any means. It wasn't even that boring or average. I was already interested in it because of the hilarious promo beforehand. It got me excited, and then a little hope, maybe he'll win or something. But obviously he wasn't going to. But it gives you that little spark.
It made you miss R-Truth and what he used to be, and just seeing him in action and whatnot, it just gives you that spark there. It's like, oh, R-Truth is still here. Maybe we will,
He almost had a renewal, but WWE was too late on it. That Golden Truth thing was about to take off. People were finally starting to get behind it, and then they ended it. Or they stopped making it funny. They started making it weird. And it used to be, it started out being real funny, and then it just got kind of awkward.
It got weird, yeah.
R-Truth is gold. They got to find something to do with R-Truth before he can't do it anymore. He's getting up there in age.
Yeah, he really is getting up there.
Wait, was he ever United States champion? Okay, this is like
yes.
Yes. He was.
Okay.
He's been hardcore champion. What are you talking about?
Everything, just about everything.
I have never seen him as United States champion. I've completely forgot about his United States championship run.
You don't remember how long R-Truth's been around? He's been around for a while.
No, but I have not actually like seen him with the United States championship. I haven't seen him win it yet.
God damn, he's been around since WWF.
Yo, I have
Come on
heard.
now.
Yeah, I have heard he has won it, but I haven't seen the match where he did win it.
Well, you miss a lot of things, Ben. So.
Okay, I will. Oh yeah, I'm probably gonna have to agree with that.
He hasn't had the IC title either. So.
The only time that he's
two-time hardcore, one-time United States, one-time tag team. He's got two Slammies.
Okay. Wait, which Slammies did he win? Which ones?
I think one is musical performance.
Best musical performance and LOL moment of the year. See, that's what I'm talking about. LOL moment of the year for 2015. He always has some amazingly funny moments. the whole
True.
being afraid of heights and stuff and the Jimmy stuff. I think we talked about this last week too.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Well, not last week, but the other
I'm
week.
definitely gonna be
Because
pushing for R-Truth, and probably as long as they keep putting him on TV, I'm gonna be a big fan of R-Truth.
Yeah, I think the only time he's ever been close to the Intercontinental Championship was when he stole it from what's his name? I was gonna say Wade Barrett.
And again, hilarious.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who keeps hitting the exit? Well, it doesn't matter because Ben keeps pinning people who aren't playing anyway, so we may as well just follow this from here.
Sorry, I'm just like,
Yeah.
sorry, I got bored. Yeah, well, yeah, I just got bored. But, should we talk about? Okay, yeah, I kind of want to skip the next match.
Well, you haven't even let Soul put in his opinion on it. So
Sorry,
why don't we?
sorry, Soul. Where is Soul anyway? I haven't even heard him.
I'm here.
Well, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sheep
Wait.
took the words right out of my mouth. I love R-Truth. I think he's hilarious. I think he's a breath of fresh air as far as in-ring performances goes. Who else makes you like on the edge of your seat, excited the way he did briefly in this match with Shinsuke? I'm disappointed that his 2 matches back have been really short. I think he could go for long and put on a really, really great match. I think that WWE today, the matches are more dumbed down and not as exciting in general.
I agree.
And R-Truth's performance was truly a great in-ring performance of what a wrestling match should be. I'd like to see more of that in the WWE in general. It was like, on NXT and a lot of their matches you get a show, a real show. A match should be a show, you know. It's a performance, and R-Truth does very well with that. So I'm definitely excited to see more from him. And that's it.
All right.
Yeah, I agree with you, so I just wanna say something else. I really hope, I agree with Sheep as well, hoping that R-Truth does get another run at a title. I mean, I don't really care what title it is. Just, I want to see another run with him before he does get old.
I would really prefer, for as long as he's been dedicated, I'd like to see him get that Grand Slam. Go ahead and get Intercontinental and the World Championship at least once.
Yep, true.
I think that would be befitting. One time, even if it's a fluke, championship. Go ahead and give him one good chance, or something big, win a Royal Rumble or something big and memorable. He's put in a lot of time. He's put a lot of people over,
I agree.
Okay, is it just me, or did I just the weirdest images pop in my head, like freaking R-Truth being the president?
It's just you, Ben, because nobody else is thinking what you're thinking, Ben, okay?
It's a good place
Anyways,
to move
we can
on.
move on to the next match here.
Which
The Bludgeon Brothers
squash match.
is in action.
Yeah, three. That's weird that 3-on-2 was squash
what a
match.
tag team. Shit, boring tag team.
Yeah.
Champion, whatever.
Well,
obviously it's a squash match, Ben.
This was different,
really
and it was 3 men instead of 2, so it was a little bit different than what we're used to. And Rowan and Harper actually wrestled a little bit in this one. They didn't just knock the guys down and pin them. They actually wrestled a bit, took it to the outside, did some pretty interesting.
Well, obviously they had to extend the show. If you didn't notice, SmackDown's been cutting short here and there in some episodes. They won't end. It doesn't really end on the dot anymore. It ends either 10 minutes early or 15 minutes early. It's because they do the whole fucking. I don't know if you guys realized it. I'm pretty sure you guys do. I know that sometimes you watch the Hulu version and they probably don't do it on the Hulu version. But during commercials, they'll have the matchup on the side. as well. Like they'll have the match like minimized up on the corner with the commercials going on. So they're really cutting it short, and I think it's the whole thing about the brand of it's gonna be changing. Um, channels or what you want to call it, networks.
Well, they're about to
I think
defend the
that's
title, so they had to
the,
put them
the
in some
reason.
sort of a match, and they had to make them do a
Yeah.
little bit of wrestling to make them look presentable for a pay-per-view title defense. I mean, they did one lifted the other up and threw him down on the guy, and they did. One thing, one of them did a move off the top rope or something. Like they were doing stuff that they don't normally do. They're actually somewhat
Yeah.
entertaining in the ring this time, instead of just oh, big boo, clothesline, pin, it's over. It was a little better of a match, in my opinion. Or a performance, I should say.
I agree.
Anyways, the main event, no, didn't really care for the outcome.
Was a tag team.
The New Day versus The Bar. I thought this was a pretty incredible match. Just when I was kind of thinking to myself, I'm a little bit tired of The Bar. They're kind of getting old to me. They proved to me why they are still a great tag team. Yeah, I enjoyed this match. I think the New Day's great in the ring. They can anybody they're paired up with, they've had great matches. You can't you may not like the New Day's gimmick and all that jazz, but you can't deny that anytime the New Day's in a match, it's almost arguably match of the event, the best match of the event. All the matches they had with the Usos were incredible. This match was pretty great. I mean, you can't deny that. And
yeah, it was a good match, but I was upset with the outcome.
Well, we knew that.
Well, of course, the New Day defeated the Bar, but I'm not upset with it because
you done it now, sucker.
I'm not upset with it because despite everything I just said, do I want to see the Bar against Bludgeon Brothers?
Yes, I do.
I mean,
yes, I want to see them dominate the fuck out of Bludgeon Brothers. Just rip their fucking hearts out and fucking bury them.
I don't know. It doesn't give us that heel face matchup.
Okay. Yo, it doesn't have to always be.
I know it doesn't. I know.
Here's the issue.
I know it doesn't always have to be, but I feel like in this situation it does. I feel like in this circumstance
the Bar
it does.
is not really a heel or a face.
I know.
Let's just remember. Cesaro was supposedly a
I didn't say they were.
And Sheamus was supposedly a heel. And they got brought together to form a tag team.
If they're official,
I didn't say they were heel or face.
We gotta quit getting stuck on these labels. You gotta quit getting stuck on these labels of who's heel and who's face and who's this and that. We gotta get out of that system because it's not. It doesn't work anymore. It's outdated. We've got to come up with some new. We got to come up with some kind of new hierarchy or new thing. There's got to be like, maybe be more like Dungeons and Dragons. You know, chaotic neutral and neutral evil and chaotic good and all that shit. Because there's way too many. You don't think it works?
Why don't we just stick with favorite
straight up heel face?
New Day versus Bludgeon Brothers. Heel versus face doesn't work in that situation.
No.
How?
Really.
No, but we can do favorite and.
Is there any question that the New Day is face? Yes or no?
Yes. I know. I get what you're saying. Yes, I know what you're saying. They're more clearly drawn lines.
Exactly. I'm only speaking for this circumstance. I'm not speaking for in general.
But the New Day can do heel stuff at any time, and they have. They pulled bad. They use the Unicorn Stampede is technically a heel type move because they're skirting the rules, but it's become accepted and it's become well known, and now it's like, oh, they're just smart. But it's
let's
technically
also
a heel move.
remember. Let's also remember that one heel move that they do as well is distraction. And they do that a lot with the horn and the pancakes and shit. They'll do that
Yeah.
out on the side, throwing pancakes randomly, getting like the other person distracted, especially with the horn thing that they
Yeah,
do.
that's heel stuff.
That's heel stuff.
So is this
But
is
they
this
get
like a
away
little bit
with
of
it
a
because they're
shame
fun
of
and goofy and they're, this
yeah.
just the same way that the bar can kind of be faces and they can kind of be heels, just depending on how WWE wants to write them for that fucking week. Um,
Mhm.
that's why I just it's hard for me to just sit there and use these heel face terms because it's not that simple anymore. It's just not.
Yeah.
Mhm. I just stick
Yeah,
with favorite and underdog because it basically works that way.
to a degree, but sometimes you have equal competitors that you just don't know. You don't have a
True.
favorite. A lot of times it's not that dynamic. It's like a Clash of Titans or
I
it's a
I
Goldberg versus
agree.
Brock Lesnar.
I agree with you, Sheep, but to an extent, I think heel and face is still very relevant.
No, I'm 100. I'm
Oh
all the
no,
way
because
right.
it's all heel on face anymore.
It doesn't work anymore
Arguably,
because
it
the
I
heels
agree
are
with
does.
faces
Sheep.
and the faces are
You
As
can
heels.
pick
much
a heel
as
and a
as
face
much
out of
as
The only
almost
we
ones
every
that
match at any night.
as much as we want it to work, it just doesn't work. It's like we do keep bringing the whole thing up about heel and whatnot and faces,
I'm
but the
saying,
thing is it
as a
actually
as
there?
as a fan, you can choose. You could pick one between the match. Is what I'm saying. Like the New Day versus the Bludgeon Brothers. You would say New Day's face and Bludgeon Brothers are heel. AJ Samoa Joe. You would say AJ's face Samoa Joe's heel. Daniel Bryan the Miz. You would say Daniel Bryan's face and Miz's heel. You can still pick who's what in certain matches. Of course, there's some where it would be harder to do so. Like what was
True, but
one
the thing
recently?
is, m-
Um,
most of them been either a heel or faces too.
R-Truth Shinsuke.
True,
R-Truth's
true.
the face, Shinsuke's the heel. It still exists.
Yeah, but
I know
it's not
it's not what it
entirely
was.
existence.
Yeah,
They don't base
she
every.
broke it down better earlier with the whole back in the day Hulk Hogan was the hero and then you had your heel
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that it's not as strong as it was back in them days, but it still exists. I mean, do you think people are gonna look at Randy Orton like he's neutral? They're gonna look at him like he's a heel. He's beating up the people that they love. That's heel.
No, but before this, he was
Yeah,
neutral.
before this,
He was a
yeah.
person you
Yeah.
either liked or hated.
Before this, but now he went heel. I mean, it still exists. It's still a thing. It's not as dominant or obvious as it once was, but it still exists.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know, man.
It's just again
We
everything
we
comes down
can't
to bad
we can't
writing.
just
That's an excuse for
we
everything.
can't keep the labels of heel and
Well, I
faces
said
because they don't work as
that's
good
why
as
I
they used
said
to.
you could look at a match and you could determine for yourself who's heel and who's face. I'm not saying it has to be a label. You don't have to
Yeah.
label someone
Okay.
like Shinsuke Nakamura. He's a heel every week, no matter what. I'm saying you would pick Shinsuke out of
Yeah.
Shinsuke and R-Truth. Shinsuke is the heel in that situation, in that match. I'm not saying Shinsuke's a heel labeled as a heel in general. I'm saying you would pick
Yeah.
in the
Yeah, I
match.
know that you guys will probably like have a little bit of debate about this, but I've just got that little bit of a tiny funny feeling that the Bludgeon Brothers are probably gonna win. I just know it because, like, how many times have we seen the New Day versus the Bludgeon Brothers? A lot of times, and and if it is like what I am thinking, then it's just gonna be another win for the Bludgeon Brothers. I'm just saying.
I don't
That's
know,
like
but
what I
I
think.
I, I don't
the
really know.
Bludgeon Brothers reign is ridiculous.
I
The
know, like,
Bludgeon Brothers
yeah.
reign is just ridiculous. They shouldn't have held the title for this long.
I would have actually preferred to see Usos, New Day, or the Bar win the tag team championships instead of the Bludgeon Brothers. Like, yeah, I know that you guys are probably gonna have like your own debate about this, but that's like, yeah, but that's just my opinion. The Bludgeon Brothers, they don't, they, yeah, hopefully at SummerSlam they do lose the titles, but I've just got that funny feeling like they're not gonna lose the titles anytime soon.
I don't know. I personally don't really care at this point because I wanted the club to win it. So, it don't even matter now. The New Day's already won it, what, 3, 4 times.
Yep.
So, I mean, they're probably gonna win it again, I think.
Yeah.
I will agree that this is probably the least interesting booking, but at the same time, you're guaranteed a good match almost.
It's probably because well, yeah, it's gonna be a good match, but they haven't been even promoting it. I mean, I know it just happened. We just found out that that's who's gonna face them.
They don't have to. Is the kind of the thing.
Mm.
Like they know they can count on the New Day to at least be like, this was a good show.
I guess. I mean, I'm sure we'll get something about it. Something's gonna happen next week because, you know, it ended with the Bludgeon Brothers standing in the crowd, staring them down. So I'm sure something's gonna happen between them on this upcoming SmackDown. But we'll see.
We shall see.
We shall see. So we can move on to NXT now.
Yes.
Which started off with Amber Nova, first person to come out to the ring.
Want me to? Okay.
And her opponent was Nikki Cross. It's good seeing good old Nikki Cross again, huh?
Didn't watch NXT like usual, so go on.
No shit.
Hang on.
I was disappointed in this whole thing. Not necessarily the match. The fact that it was unnecessary. We don't need to see Nikki Cross on NXT at all. We need to see Nikki Cross on SmackDown, where she should be. And
But she has appeared on the house shows.
I think Nikki Cross could take on the Riot Squad all by herself. You know, she's just that crazy. She's lost right now in the women's division on NXT because it's so loaded with Mae Young classic people. She can win all these matches, but none of these people are known. Nobody knows who they are, so it's kind of irrelevant.
Agreed.
That's all I got on
that. I agreed, and then we had Adrian. I don't remember how to pronounce his last name. If you could help me out, Adrian Jowdy or something like that.
Jowdy
versus Cassius Ohno. And
I think you guys just missed something.
What did we miss, Ben?
The Undisputed Era and Ricochet.
Oh yeah, that's right.
When the Undisputed Era took out Ricochet, we first actually heard Ricochet's music, and then Undisputed Era comes out, and they actually bring Ricochet out, but but he is completely beaten up, and then it's just like the whole promo with Adam Cole on just to Ricochet, just tell him that he will not beat him at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, and Adam Cole is still going to be the one and only NXT North American champion. Still going to be the champion.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited for that.
Yeah, yeah, me too. But I don't know. I could see. I don't know. It's just that I kind of want to see Ricochet as the NXT champion. because like he is talented.
I think we will eventually.
Like, and there's a lot of other even probably
Well,
even
here's the
Velveteen
problem.
Dream.
I'm not sure on that because what I'm seeing that might happen is you're gonna have two parts. You're gonna have the NXT champion and the North American champion, and then watch they both get promoted from holding that belt, and then I promise it might be a while before we see somebody who has held both the North American and the NXT title, but because I think they're almost equal right now. The other
Yeah,
one's not
true.
necessarily a mid card belt. It's even though it should be. Um, because you look at the people holding the North American belt, it's been Adam Cole pretty much the whole time since it got announced, and Adam Cole is
Yep.
probably the biggest, if not the second or third biggest deal on NXT right now.
Yep. Very
More
true.
people know who Adam Cole is right now than probably Aleister Black. Um, and that's
Well,
saying that he's got a lot of weight in that division. I mean, the Undisputed Era does kind of run shit on NXT. They've got all the gold pretty much. So yeah. And as
True.
far as the Cassius Ohno thing, that was the exact same thing I had to say about Nikki Cross, except for there's nowhere for Cassius Ohno to go.
Yeah.
I hate to advocate for somebody not being with the company anymore. Maybe there is some other role for him in the company. Maybe he could be more successful on Raw or SmackDown. Maybe it would be a breath of fresh air. Maybe going to one of the main rosters and trying something different would work. But what he's doing now doesn't work for me. After all the bad matches, just not good quality matches. If you lose, but you lose well, it's fine. He did a lot of losing, but he didn't lose well. I wasn't. He didn't shine in any of these losses, and
Agreed.
you got to make yourself shine if you want to be interesting. And he just lost any luster that he had. Like when I see that he's got a match, I like literally groan. Ugh. Because it's just I know I'm not
Same.
gonna be
I,
interested.
I literally said, "Oh no," out loud to myself when his music hit. I went, "Oh no."
No, no.
oh no, oh no. Okay, that song is now gonna get stuck in my head.
Oh god.
And the bad thing is that he seems like a really great guy who's worked hard and put in a lot of time, not getting paid, and just doing it for the love of the business. So
Mm.
I want him to succeed, and I want to be behind him and be a fan, but I can't force myself to like something that's not enjoyable yet. I'm torn. But I like him
I agree.
personally as a I can tell that he deserves it, but it's just there's something missing that's not there. But that's all I got on
You
that one.
can carry on from here because I didn't see anything else after this. I didn't
Oh,
finish.
you didn't see Keith Lee?
No, I'm gonna
Yo,
go back and watch
Keith
it, but I didn't
Lee
see
is
it.
a freaking
I'm actually
I,
powerhouse.
I
I'm
was
looking him up right now.
I was
He is very
I
athletic.
was part impressed
Yo,
and part like because it's like yeah he's I don't know if he just looks too awkward to me. It looks weird. Um, and some of the moves, like the high flying, you can tell maybe he's a little too excited to be on the big stage or something like that. Maybe the timing was off a little bit and it looks better, and he's usually more in the
okay.
flow. But like some of the flying moves and stuff like that, they seemed a little rushed or not quite as good as they're supposed to be. Dude's huge though, and does a lot of
He's 325 pounds.
jumping. Yeah, does a lot of jumping and stuff like that. Um, okay, they did mention it here on Bleacher Report that his pounce in this match was not as pretty as one would have hoped for. So his moves they didn't look as good. They weren't as far. So I think maybe a lot of it was nerves maybe or something like that. But otherwise, I was impressed. He seems like, but I don't think he's gonna have as much momentum behind him as all these other pretty well established stars. I think he's got a lot of work if he's gonna be successful. Because I mean, there's a lot of good names out there in NXT that are at the bottom of the NXT card that are freaking great. I mean,
Okay.
there's what? Go ahead.
Yeah, you guys. Okay, you actually might be debating about Keith Lee right now, but okay, I will say this right now. Like, probably like after this uh podcast does finish, go and
I'm
watch
not going
like
to.
some of
I'm not gonna.
like some of his matches from like PWG.
Who?
They are freaking fantastic.
Oh, Keith Lee.
PWG.
Yeah.
Keith Lee used to be part of
Yeah, I was
that.
just looking
Yeah.
it up. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, his matches were freaking good. Like I remember like
But
one of
here's
his
the
matches.
thing: you can say that, Ben, but at the same time, when AJ Styles was coming to WWE, everybody's like, "Oh, go look at this AJ Styles match, and go look at this AJ Styles match." But the problem is, we're not getting that AJ Styles, and we're not getting that Keith Lee. We're getting Keith Lee now, with all the
Yeah.
damage that he's had over the years. The matches you might be wanting us to watch might be 5 years old, might be 10 years old. They might be before he pulled a ligament in his knee or something like that. We don't know that stuff, and we can't get that version of that person. And the dude looks pretty old to me.
He's 27.
Really?
Really?
Maybe it's just the size of him makes him look older.
Probably.
Dude looks 40 something. He looks in his 40s. I swear to God.
He's 27. I was just looking up his information.
So that's impressive. That got me a little bit more. I'm like, wow, okay. I think he's gonna be a decent mid card.
Well, it's his first match. Let's not go into detail about what we think his career is gonna be like.
There's supposed to be a lot. Well, there's supposed to be a lot of hype behind him. Is the thing. He's supposed to be a big deal. Like he was in the crowd, like a month ago.
It's because he's well known in the indie scene. He's wrestled for
exactly.
I think I've seen 5 or 6 different indie promotions he's been with. So he's well known to the deep wrestling fan.
So he's supposed to be one of the more big deals. That's why I'm getting more into it and trying.
Mm-hmm.
I'm digging deeper than I normally would because he's supposed to.
I could tell that he was a big deal with the little promo video they had for him. They only do that for somebody who's gonna be a big deal. They did it for EC3. They did it for Velveteen Dream.
Yeah, but they also did it for Kona Reeves.
Kona Reeves is a big deal. Exactly.
His current push at the moment? No, it's gone nowhere.
He's rivaling with EC3. He's the finest. I mean, I don't know what you're trying to say here. He was in.
Well, it does seem like he's got what's his name on his side. Velveteen.
Velveteen Dream.
Was that Velveteen who helped him last week?
God.
Well, whether I'm mostly.
Who was it that helped him last week? I'm forgetting.
I think it was. I think it was Velveteen caused a distraction.
Yeah, it was Velveteen. Completely backfired, and EC3 got the victory.
Well, I know, but I think that was Kona wanted to be friends.
Whether we like it or
EC3.
I think whether we like it or not, Kona Reeves is gonna get pushed. Based on
kind of like Andrade.
Based on the family that he's involved with, and he's NXT's Roman Reigns. Okay, I said it.
The family that he's involved with. What do you mean?
He's part of the Samoan family. I think.
Who?
Kona Reeves. I think he's.
No.
I think so.
Wow.
I think he is.
No.
I'm pretty sure I read that somewhere before. I'm trying to.
What, in the National Enquirer?
I could have sworn I read that somewhere.
You've been reading Reddit again?
No. I've never been on Reddit in my life.
I don't know. Let me Google this. Dear Google.
Why don't I
Because
just
if
just
he
like
is,
look
that'll
up?
be one of the main.
Why don't I just look up this Cassius Ono for some strange reason?
Hold on, that was like one of the main things.
Yes, he's part of the same family of Rikishi, Umaga, Yokozuna, Roman Reigns, and the Usos.
Maybe.
So yeah, he's part of that family. So like I said, whether we like it or not.
I don't know. He was trained by them.
Is that what
He's not part of the. He was trained. He was trained by Alpha Anoi at the Wild Samoan Pro Wrestling Training Center. Because he is Hawaiian, Chinese, Dutch, Indonesian, Filipino, and Spanish descent. There is no
He's the finest of them all.
Samoan in there at all. His real name is Noah Pang Pokyes. So yeah, no, definitely not.
He's the finest of them all.
Kin to the Rock. But yeah, going on. Moving on. Moving along.
We had Tana Cotney versus Vanessa Bourne in a Mae Young Classic 2018 qualifying match.
You mean Tanara Conti?
So,
this is actually a pretty good match for women's matches.
Yep.
I don't like Vanessa Bourne. Like her little thing that she does in the ring, like her little head bob thing. She didn't do it this time, but it's just always been a thing that stuck out about me. I was like, I don't like her little interest thing. It's a personal thing. It's not anything that's like bad about it. It's just like I just don't like it, and I don't know why. And I don't like her, and I don't know why. It's not anything against her. Well, I guess it is, but I don't think it's her fault. You know, I'm sure plenty of people think she's the bee's knees, but I did kind of like the Conti girl. She's supposed to be like Brazilian jiu-jitsu and judo, like Olympic level judo in Brazil, But it was a decent match, and Conti won, so that gave her a spot in the Mae Young Classic. So she won't win. Anybody that they give these spots to isn't the person that wins. If she was going to win, she would have had a huge promo about what her life was like in Brazil, what her childhood was like. So pay attention when you start seeing promos about somebody's childhood and growing up. That's probably who's going to win the Mae Young Classic. It's all about the promos that they get.
Agreed. Street, what are you doing?
Thoughts on the match?
Where's Street?
Street?
He's all spamming in the chat, but he's not talking.
I think he may have actually got a little disconnected or something.
Maybe he's smoking one of your cigarettes.
Nope, no. Apparently, I know what Sheep's doing. I know what you're doing, Sheep. Find that, TTA. I'm not gonna say anything, don't I?
Oh, I just have it open. I haven't started it yet. Yeah. But
what do you want from me?
What are you doing, guy?
Street, where were you just about 2 minutes ago?
I don't watch NXT, so I have nothing to say.
Well, you're a member of this podcast, aren't you?
Yo,
yeah, but what you want me to say? I don't know all these new people.
Street,
the fuck are these new people?
Street, can I just say something? You said to me, and I think that all three of you just did.
Sheep, go over the end of the show so we can wrap up.
All right, yeah. So the last match was Johnny Gargano
Which was
versus
Gargano
Aleister
versus Aleister Black.
Blake. It was a really good match, but it ended up being an interruption from Tommaso Ciampa to make it a no contest, and then
William Regal
stuff broke down. Everybody, William Regal came out, announced that it would be a triple threat for the NXT Championship at Takeover Brooklyn, and that was like met with cheers. Thank you, Regal. Everybody was happy. Aleister Black versus Tommaso Ciampa versus Johnny Gargano was set in stone. It was going to be amazing because it wasn't just Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa. It had Aleister Black in there, and that's a different dynamic, and that's something I can swallow. But as a lot of people know, shortly after WWE released news that, and shortly after it went off air, yes, I know, WWE released news that Aleister Black had been attacked backstage, quote unquote, and was injured. Not backstage, but outside. Whatever details, whatever.
Sorry,
I'll
sorry,
get
Chief.
to
I had to go into detail.
It doesn't matter because that's all part of the story. The truth is, he probably got hurt in the ring, finished the match, and can't continue, and probably has to be out for 6 months or longer. So the main event of NXT Takeover is probably going to be Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa 33.
Yep.
So,
GG. Cool.
It doesn't matter because it'll probably still be an amazing match, and it won't subtract from the overall quality, probably at all, but maybe just a little bit because of the repetition. I don't think it'll really detract from the actual quality of Takeover. Takeover's still going to be better than SummerSlam, no matter how you look at it. That's just the way those things go. I'm going to miss Aleister Black, but the break's probably good for him. He'll come back with probably an even bigger push, and maybe even be the first one to maybe win the North American title, and to have held both before going on to the main brand. That'll probably give whoever goes to the main roster a little bit more momentum, having held more than one title on NXT. Probably would add a little bit more weight to their career, or to their push.
I agree with that. I'd rather see that than them have him rush onto the main event and then be, thrown to the bottom of the
especially
pile.
as soon as he comes back off especially as soon as he comes back from injury, in which case NXT is mostly forgotten about him, and WWE has no idea who the fuck he is because nobody's been talking about him for 6 months.
Definitely, because they haven't been doing NXT superstars a whole lot of favors as far as being brought up to the main roster. I mean, even none of them recently. Insanity's not even getting a title shot or even close to it. AOP's feuding with Titus Worldwide. Ty Dillinger's not doing much. I mean, who recently has came from NXT? It's No Way Jose is doing nothing. I mean,
the bad thing. Here's the bad. Probably the most successful person from recently
Baron Corbin,
probably Tyler Breeze
and Baron Corbin, right?
Baron Corbin. Well, no, Kevin Owens came from NXT.
I mean, like recent.
Yep.
Well, Baron Corbin wasn't that recent. Baron Corbin was 2 years ago.
Yep. I was gonna say
he was more successful though at first, but
no, I'm gonna say Zelina Vega. Like she has been freaking like not. I don't know how many wins she's
she's not gonna continue. She's not gonna keep wrestling. She's not gonna be a women's champion. She's just eye candy for Andrade, and she can wrestle sometimes if they need her to. I'm sorry, Ben, to break your heart, but that's all it's gonna be.
Okay, she's gonna be a future champion. I'm just saying, she's gonna be a future champion.
Yeah, in your wet dreams.
Dude, I could see her becoming champion. Well, if Jinder Mahal can become champion, anyone can become champion. Works that way.
All right.
I'm saying
Okay.
shit.
All right.
I had to bring up the whole Jinder Mahal.
Let's wrap up this show.
So you guys want big news? Is that what you guys
Big
want?
freaking news.
I got a big news.
Yes.
You still in
So
my
Mick
stories,
Foley,
watch.
so Mick Foley, listen to this. Mick Foley wants Vince McMahon to keep his eye on Chris Cyborg. You guys know who Chris Cyborg is, right? From the UFC?
Nope. Nope.
Yeah.
I've never heard of them, motherfucker.
No, it's a girl. It's not a guy. It's a girl. She's a female UFC fighter. She's currently champion. She's
a
been like
female?
one of the best so far. She put on great performance, and the UFC loves her. And apparently, she's been teasing some tweets about WWE, and Mick Foley's a big fan of her. And Vince.
Isn't she one of the ones who knocked out Ronda Rousey?
Yep.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
There's
No,
two
no,
of them. No, it was the
Holly
Nunez
Holm.
and then
It was
Holly
Holly Holmes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was Holly Holmes.
Because then you take if you bring one of them over to WWE, you take all the weight out of Ronda Rousey. If you bring the person, they won't bring anybody who I don't think they're gonna bring anybody who will be a conflict of interest.
But she
Rousey.
did take out Holly Holmes.
Exactly.
Chris Cyborg. So she also took out Shayna Baszler. Let's just say that. She's been on a winning streak. She's like one of the best female UFC fighters. She could put on good performance. She's like 17-0 right now. And so she could make appearance in WWE. Imagine, oh my god, just imagine her wrestling Ronda Rousey. That'd be intense right there.
Oh, that would be.
That'd be intense. I would want to see that. That's something I want to see. But yeah, she could make a appearance in WWE. She's been teasing it here and there with tweets and whatnot.
I'm just still not sold on Ronda Rousey in ring. It still looks so bad to me.
Hang on a second.
Her wrestling, Ronda Rousey. I don't want to watch her wrestle because it's not good. It's not good quality. It's bad. Her suplexes look like garbage. They look like she's gonna hurt somebody.
She probably can hurt somebody.
That's the thing,
Jesus.
and it's a danger thing. It's a safety thing. You know, it's supposed to look like it hurts, but it's not supposed to hurt. It's supposed to look like it.
Okay.
That's why what looks like it would hurt even more is when she like put somebody in that armbar. I get very worried. She does that shit aggressively, dude.
Well, I'm sure she's
like,
got
oh
that.
my God.
I'm sure she's practiced it out so that she can.
Yeah.
Hopefully that.
How long do you think it'll take
also
until she gets PTSD and actually snaps somebody's fucking arm? She'll
Oh,
probably
yeah.
do it one time. She'll probably do it to a trainer or something.
I have some
It's like,
wrestling. I've also got some
break that
news
fucking
also
arm right off.
regarding some WWE business right now. CM Punk being sued by Colt Cabana.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
god.
remember
How
seeing
that is
that.
not wrestling news.
He lost the court, and it doesn't matter. He lost the court case. He's gonna lose.
Can we please stop talking about CM Punk?
case
He is
closed.
irrelevant to wrestling in general. He's not a wrestler.
Okay.
He's not even a wrestler.
Can I say something?
I know, but this has to do with wrestling.
No, it doesn't.
That's the
It
whole thing
has
about
to
his
do. It has
his.
to do with WWE.
It does.
It doesn't matter.
Because
It doesn't matter.
his previous case was about the doctor in WWE, and Colt Cabana is the relations with that whole thing, and this is why he's suing CM Punk. Is because he sued that WWE doctor there.
It doesn't. It has no immediate effect on the WWE universe.
Guys. I'm just saying.
It's irrelevant.
Expect a little bit of a big spoiler.
So you guys want to talk about what CM Punk had for dinner last night?
Guys, Ronda Rousey expected to beat Alexa Bliss.
That's nothing new. We already knew that, man. We already fucking knew that.
The
No.
big news was
Yeah.
that Asuka may have walked out
Ronda
on SmackDown on
confirmed
last
it.
Tuesday. That's news.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah. I heard that.
Tuesday, Asuka reportedly left after a heated meeting. Not mad that she's lost 2 matches in a row, but mad that she's missing out on. She's not even booked for SummerSlam, and she's not happy with how her character is being booked from primarily.
Yeah.
And I can agree with that. I can understand that. At the same time, I don't know if it's necessarily wise or smart.
It's like we might be losing
walk
Alexa
out.
Bliss too. I think after the whole Ronda thing, I think we're losing Alexa. So, cause she hasn't been happy either. She's been getting less
She's
payment.
not happy as champion.
She's been getting less payment than people that she
Look.
wants to be paid, and she's not happy that she's not getting as much quote unquote respect as she should be. She's pulling on a CM Punk thing in the back, from what I hear.
Then what she can do is go right ahead and go to the Indies, bitch.
I mean,
I got no
WWE
sympathy.
gave her.
I've got
a
no
whole
sympathy
thing.
for somebody who's the champion.
She never wanted
and
to
who's
do
talking
the
about her
Ellsworth thing.
position.
She never wanted to do the Ellsworth thing. I mean, not her. What I'm talking about. She never wanted to do the whole what's that girl's name now? The big girl. Fucking what's her
Nia?
name?
Nia Jax.
Yeah, she never wanted to do that with her.
Okay, and is this the first time that wrestlers had to do something that they didn't want to do?
Job. They
Fuck
gotta
no,
do
that's
what they're
their
told to
fucking
do.
career is. It's what
They don't get to
job
just come in
is.
and do what they
Doing stuff
want to
that you
do.
Don't want to do and getting paid for it.
Exactly.
Shut the fuck up.
Well, you don't
If
bitch and
want
cry
to,
about
go
it
to
and
the
just
Indies.
quit and leave.
I just don't understand why she willy. She's complaining, yeah, but she's
champion.
she's had all this success. She's champion, and now she's disappointing that Ronda Rousey's showing up, and Ronda Rousey's gonna take the belt away from her as well. She's not happy with that. I mean, I kind of understand to extent what she means. You know, you have Ronda Rousey just, make an appearance because she's a big name and she's going to be getting a title shot.
The world doesn't
like-
care about Alexa Bliss. The world cares about Ronda Rousey. That's not Ronda Rousey's fault. That's not Alexa Bliss's fault. So Alexa Bliss needs to just kind of sit down and be humble. To quote
It's
the great
WWE's
Kendrick
fault, though,
Lamar.
in general. Do they have to sign Ronda?
Yes.
Do they
To
have
stay,
to?
yes,
Are you
to
serious?
stay relevant, to keep making the money. It's a business.
I know. I'm not saying that as like I'm just saying that. I'm like, did they have to sign particularly Ronda? Like, I
Yes.
know she's a big name. Yeah, it would definitely help them best for business wise, but you don't see WWE being relevant without Ronda? Is that what you're
Look,
saying?
if you
WWE
want- if-
can't
if
be
you
relevant
want
without
to-
big names?
Of course
So-
it can, but it can't be the biggest company. It can't stay on top without constantly doing and reaching and getting the mass appeal. Reach the biggest audience.
Are you trying to
possible.
argue a
You want
world
the
where
purest-
Vince McMahon does not offer a contract to Ronda Rousey? Are you trying to make that world exist?
No, I'm just saying, do they need to offer contracts to big former
Yes.
UFC fighters or football
to the
players
biggest
or
thing,
Hell
whatever?
yeah,
to the
they
biggest
do.
thing they can. Because they need the biggest draw. The biggest draw sells the most tickets, sells subscriptions.
I
There's
understand that,
scientific data that proves all
it's
this.
just,
And
I
here,
feel-
wait, listen. Let me finish. If you want pure wrestling with everything that you want, they have something called for that. It's called New Japan. It's
Yeah,
called
I know that.
Impact. It's called all
I
these
know
other
that.
places where
I
it's
know
more
that.
pure. So you have that. You have that option out there, but you're not going to get that ever with WWE. It's not going to
Yeah.
happen because WWE is 100% about money.
Yeah,
New
it's about
Japan
money.
is
I know
about
that.
money. New Japan is about money and wrestling. All these other ones are about money and wrestling. They really love wrestling because they're not making much money.
Yeah, I agree with that. I
The
agree
wrestlers
with
aren't
that.
making much
It's
money. The
just-
people who are behind it, the main owner is pulling in big profits. Everybody else is just barely scraping by, probably, except for the real big
It's just
stars now, like Kenny Omega
disappointing.
and stuff like that.
I'm just saying.
It's not
It is to
disappointing
me.
because you
It's
have the
disappointing to me
choice.
because back in the day it was never like that, and we always liked
But
wrestling for what wrestling
you're
is.
looking at it through those
And
nostalgia
and
lenses. Back in
yeah,
the
yeah,
day, you
yeah,
were a
yeah.
kid. There was the
I
same
know,
garbage.
I
If
know. I
you
know
were just
that. I
younger.
know that, but it just sucks when you have wrestling, right? And all these new people that put in a lot of hard work and effort and they're up and coming and they get signed to WWE and then they just throw a major star in there and take all what somebody's earned and put that star in front of them. It just brings down the people that work hard for where they are right now in the WWE just to be thrown down because a big star gets thrown into the mix and they have to have the title. They have to have
Would you
that
want to see Conor
spotlight.
McGregor in WWE?
Would I want to see Conor McGregor in
Yeah.
WWE? No, not really, because why would I want to see him there? I think he's in a good position in his life right now where
Okay,
he
maybe
shouldn't
that
be
was a
doing
bad
any
example,
sports.
but there's probably somebody famous who you would want to see in WWE. And as soon as
Yeah,
they
but
came to
not for like,
WWE, they
not
would
for a
take the spotlight.
contract wise. Not contract wise, maybe a one parents type thing, but not like a contract wise. I don't know how long the contracts are in WWE. I don't know if they're past a
Well,
year,
let me put it
if that's
another
a
way.
thing.
If it was your money and your investors that you had to keep happy, then you would be making the same decisions WWE is making.
Yeah, but
That's the caveat, is that they have to keep showing the numbers. They have to keep providing the data, or the investors back out, they lose funding, and then stocks
see, that's the
plummet, and
problem
then they
that
lose
WWE
profits.
has become. And that's why we don't get what we want in WWE. That's why we get this stupid shit and stupid
Guys,
writing.
we really need
Because
to
they
wrap
rather
this up.
just sell out on big tickets with big names than care about what we want. You know what I'm saying? And that's
Yeah.
what's making WWE disappointing as is right now, as far as to writing and performance. Is because they're all about money now. And that's what it came that's what it's come down to. You can't say it's not. Like you were just saying, it is about the money, but do they
uh,
really care about us and
yeah,
giving us a great performance, a great show, or
I agree.
they just care
I
about the
agree.
money?
And the only other thing, since we really need to wrap it up, the only other thing, I got one more small thing, but it's also, I don't know if it's a huge thing, because the only people who know how small or huge it is are the writers who saw it. Randy Orton apparently is exposing himself to writers in the WWE staff. He grabs his junk,
Yeah,
whips it out,
I did
holds
see
it,
this.
and then he makes the writer shake his hand. And
Oh
if they won't
God.
shake his hand, he gets all mad at him. He's like, "Oh, you're not going to shake Randy Orton's hand? You're going to be like that? You're better than Randy Orton? How about I go tell Vince and Stephanie? How about that? You're going to be like that? You're not going to shake Randy Orton's hand? No, to hell with that." And the thing is that, like, they said that he would be like 100% like in character, full on, like in these people's faces with his dick out, and just
What the
the
fuck?
whole time, like, wouldn't put it back up. Like, I posted the articles, and it's all over the news
Yeah,
sites.
I
Yeah,
seen it.
he whips his junk out, grabs his stuff, makes them shake his hand. If they won't, he just like humiliates them. So, my take on this is, it's a long time ago. If it's continuing now, then Randy Orton's dumb. But if he stopped it in the last, I don't know, 2 years, then they should leave him the fuck alone, because this is my whole problem with this thing, is that back then these things were acceptable. There's a TV show or a movie called Waiting, where a big part of it was this game called the Flashing Game or whatever, where they showed each other their junk, and if you got caught looking, they like kicked you in the ass, and it was a big joke.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
That's acceptable
I know
culture.
that.
It's a guy thing. We do
Mhm.
shit like that sometimes, and but
Yeah.
now it's unacceptable behavior. But back then it was. So you can't hold somebody responsible for something they did like back then. Just like with the whole James Gunn and Marvel and all that kind of shit. So I thought it was funny. I was like, that's classic prank, shit. It might be a little bit, wow, he's leaving his dick out the whole time. That's kind of weird, but, at the same time, it's like, that's kind of funny, You're not going to shake my hand. I'm Randy Orton. Just grabbed your dick,
Yeah.
you sick fuck.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I
I
understand.
get it. It's a little bit out there, but I wouldn't.
It's crazy.
I hope there's no backlash for Randy Orton, is what I'm getting at. I hope they
Yeah,
don't
true,
fire
true.
Randy Orton because he pulled his dick out in front of writers and did some kind of stupid, in bad taste joke. I know plenty of people who've done stuff like that before and, don't deserve to have their lives ruined for it. So, no more rumors from me. If anybody else has anything to
I
add,
just have one more thing to add, and this is a small thing. Titus O'Neil planning on opening a tuition-free school. That's really
I ain't read about that.
all. Yeah, that's all I really have. Unless you
So
want to talk about the whole
Louisa's
thing with Daniel Bryan's contract.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I
there's
was
not
just
much really to
no,
go else
I was
into
just
it,
reading
but
that. I was
there's
just
been a
reading
little
that.
bit of update on where his contract ends on September 1st, and he still has not made a decision yet. And they're trying to tell Daniel Bryan, apparently Daniel Bryan isn't picking up his weight, supposedly, that they're saying, which makes no sense because you would think that, like, because
This
before
is
they were just saying that,
negotiations. They're trying to say whatever they can to save a buck or two, but they still want
yeah,
him to not necessarily be champion right away or whatever. Everybody's
yeah,
trying to get what they want in a contract, a real negotiation. Nobody walks away completely happy.
yeah, I understand. I mean, the whole contract thing is crazy. I just hope he does stay with WWE, honestly, so.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
all.
I believe
So,
that's it. So, yeah.
Soul, you want to take us out, buddy? Soul?
What the? Hang on.
I think we've lost Soul. I think he's.
2K Games roasted for handling of WWE
Did we
games.
lose Soul? No, we didn't.
Really?
Well, he's been. I mean, I think he's like stepped out or pulled the headset off, fell
I am
asleep.
a. I'm about
One
to
of those
just.
things.
Okay, I'm
So,
about to just go off
Oh.
right now. Like after
but
this.
that's fine, Ben. Just save it for after.
I'm here.
He's
There
coming
he
back.
is. There he is.
Maria Kanellis suffers broken wrist. I
Nah, I
just
ain't
read
worried
that.
about that.
No, ain't nobody worried about it. But yeah, we're done. So if
Hang on.
you want to end
All right,
it.
everybody. Thanks for tuning in to Dat Wrasslin podcast. We'll see you same time next week, 2 a.m. Sunday. Until then, enjoy this week's WWE entertainment. Catch you guys later. Peace out, guys.
Peace.
Peace out.
Yep. See ya.